Welcome. Tom.
Mike.
AM.
In the PM.
HUDRadio.com. Live from the BMW of Atlantic City Studios. We're right here in Mount Ephraim, New Jersey. BMW of Atlantic City. We're off exit 37 of the Parkway. Find them online.
I officially hate this camera angle.
Why? You nervous?
No, I'm fat.
I can't get an angle for you two, goddammit. I mean, I've tried a lot of angles. I'm out of angles.
Fat boys.
Sometimes the angles just go away. Like a dealer at the blackjack table. No more angles.
Little
angles are gone.
Little humor to start the show.
BMW Atlantic City. We're off exit 37 of the Parkway. Find them online, BMW Atlantic City Studios. We're right here in Mount Ephraim, New Jersey. Tom Arnone, Michael Mataraki, Greg Milakovic, Rob Povey on the ones and twos. We are brought to you by our certified public accountant every Wednesday night, Gibson Mayer LLC. Find them on the web, gibsonmayer.com. We've got a lot to go over tonight, boys. We'll be heavy Eagles talk. We'll talk some Sixers at the end of the show. Any chance of LeBron ever coming here, we'll get into that. And we'll talk some free agency moves that have happened and a little Kyrie LeBron at the end as we move forward. MLB non-waiver trade deadline approaches. How's it impact the Phillies?
Oh, it should impact them a lot. We'll
And
see.
do we see some more pups by this time, let's say in 2 weeks?
J.P. Crawford, Papa Slam tonight.
Yep, they'll find a scout out there will try to find a way to put that down, I'm sure.
Well, F that guy.
Still too early. Predictions on the Eagles, find a record and the position in the NFC playoff picture. How do they shape in that, if at all? So we'll get into that later on in the show. Oh, veterans. And which Eagles veterans most likely not to make the 2017 roster? Kelsey, Selleck, Kendricks, Curry. Let us know. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. HUD Radio is where you can find us. We'll obviously talk Marcus Smith being cut. That's on you, Howie. And Barberry being traded.
The hilarious part of this is, as we were working on the Twitter question last night, I actually strongly considered putting Barberry and Smith in as options, but I kind of felt like they might be too obvious, and little did we know, literally the next day, boom, gone. Yes. And I don't agree with the Marcus Smith thing, but we can get into that.
Yeah, so we'll start with the poll question. Out of the four guys, veterans that are on this team, which one's most likely not to be on the 2017
Mr.
Philadelphia Eagles?
I think it's Michael Kendricks. I think of the guys that I think is safest is a Brent Selleck. I think he brings enough to the table, even in a limited role, special teams, blocking. I think he sticks. Vinny Curry. Now that you release Marcus Smith, you need someone to pass rush the passer. Who's the fourth guy?
Kelsey.
Again, same thing. His versatility on the inside part of that line allows you to let go of a Barberry. So I think Kendricks is the guy who has been the most rumored throughout the last couple of years as going. And if I'm not wrong, isn't he he's owed the most money?
Yeah, he will be owed the most money.
Not that that's always the case, but I'm going with Kendricks.
Mr. Mataraki?
I like the logic on Kendricks. I can't say that I disagree with any of it, but for me, I think it's got to be Jason Kelsey. I think we know how much Andy Reid used to love big, fat, slow, immovable centers. And Doug is a chip off the old block. I mean, if you look at guys like Bubba Miller, Hank Fraley, you basically need to be a tree stump in the middle of that line, and Kelsey might be a good player, but I just don't think he fits this system. And if the Eagles are going to commit to running the ball, which clearly by signing LeGarrette Blount and drafting Donnell Pumphrey, to me, they have made a commitment to run the ball. I think the idea that they want to start Samalo at left guard is a way to move him in with the ones at the start of camp to get him used to playing with the ones, so I think they could slide him over, because I honestly feel like either Wisniewski or Warmack is going to wind up starting the season at left guard, and Samalo is going to be the starting center.
I don't think any of them. I mean, are you really in the position as a football team right now when you talk about this team to be cutting veterans for what? Like you're going to cut your starting center. I understand he's underachieved and hasn't got it done, but I mean that you're going to go out and start your season off that way. that's interesting to me. Kendricks in terms of needing to be deeper there, I just don't see where you're cutting him and adding somebody else in right now. I think you just take the hit for this year. Right, you talk about being a talented roster and a talented football team, and I'm not saying that both of them haven't underachieved, but I don't know if I'm just going to flat out release them unless there's somebody that much better that can handle it. Really,
and that's a great point.
And Selleck, another guy, because you sign a rugby guy, that's not a reason for me to get rid of Brent. So
no, but I think that the whole point behind these guys is that they make enough money that if you do cut them, enough of their salary comes off the books that if you need to backfill another position, like a corner, like a safety, like a linebacker, you then have that financial flexibility. So a lot of it, I think, is going to be a dollars and cents game as opposed to pure talent.
Which it always is. And especially when you look at when you just cut Marcus Smith. I mean, that causes you to go into cap struggle. Because now you cut a controllable piece for however long at a decent price. Now you have to go out and supplement that at any position with somebody who has a higher price tag. And that's where bad teams continue to be bad teams, is they make the wrong choice on draft day.
And who's that on, right? Who's that on? I mean, I think I see people out there like, oh, happy Marcus Smith's been cut, right? They're the same people that I see out there that are puffing chests over Howie. I mean, you can't have it both ways. You cannot continue to struggle in the first round of the draft and how important it is, and continue to struggle there, especially drafting DNs, and be able to get away with it and be like, oh, well, Marcus Smith wasn't good enough anyway. That's on Howie Roseman.
Marcus Smith was their best run-stopping defensive end last year. Now, granted, defensive end, you're supposed to rush the passer, and that's a weak spot for him. And the selection was probably a bit of a push when they made it. But the whole thing with Marcus Smith, to me, I mean, yeah, he was a first-round draft pick, but you're not paying this guy a ton of money. I personally think they punished him for not showing up for the voluntaries. I really do.
And that's fine if that's the case. I mean, you do have other DNs here that you can put in, but I mean, it just goes to show you, like, okay, so you're admitting while under control that we made a mistake.
Yeah.
Either that or Howie's trying to pull the,
it wasn't me.
It wasn't me. It was Chip's call. Just same thing with Danny Watkins. With Andy Reid. Obviously we know how that worked out, right? So it's it's Powie now, or Powie. Well,
Powie.
It's Howie now that he has the power back. So I guess we can call it Powie. Puffing his chest out and saying, you were a Chip guy, you're the last one to go, let's go get out of here.
Comment already from Philadelphia Sports on the YouTube chat. Will Derek Barnett and Russell Douglas be instant starters? I'm going to say no. I feel like the starters at corner will be Jalen Mills and Patrick Robinson. Russell should probably play a lot, though. Barnett will be in the defensive end rotation. I don't think he's going to start, though.
That's a problem.
But
it is a problem.
Well, it goes back to my issue with that on draft day. Right? If you're gutting Marcus Smith, if you struggle to draft the ends, why are we taking it to the end? And if you need cornerback help or secondary help, you had a plethora of guys that were ready for the plucking right there at 19 and in the back half of the defense, and you took a guy you don't know is going to start day one.
No, I hear you. I absolutely hear you, and I don't have any issue with that.
I mean, you go out, you sign Chris Long. I mean, to me, for what? Why would I just not keep Marcus Smith under contract? And I'm not like crowning Marcus Smith by saying this, but it just doesn't make sense. I mean, then you go in the direction of drafting a DN in the top 15 that needs to be an instant starter day one, right? And now he could end up not being a starter day one. That's a problem. Like, when I go top 15 in the NFL draft, that is instant starter. That means, one, you weren't good enough as a football team to be able to be like, put your nose up and say, well, we're a gold goddamn standard, because you're not. And if you draft top 15 and he's not an instant starter, you're doing something wrong. You're reaching still. And I'm not saying Barnett's a reach. I'm just making the point is, if you draft even in the first round for the most part and he's not an instant starter, you're reaching. You're reaching, especially top 15. And you get in the top 10 even more. It's a joke to me. It's a flat-out joke if he's not the starter. And, Chris Long and Vinny Carey, clog that up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean,
when you talk about snaps.
I mean, you're probably looking at Brandon Graham lining up on the right and Vinny Curry lining up on the left, and then Chris Long and Barnett rotating in behind him.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be situational because, Curry can't stop the run good enough.
No, but you're right. If you're going to draft somebody that high, doesn't he have to be an every down defensive end?
No question, yeah.
What? That's the hope.
You would think, yeah.
Especially when you pass on,
or become one.
Not to keep bringing it up, but when you pass on the Alabama guys or all those cornerbacks that were out there, like you're passing on those guys that are every down players at their position. For a guy, that's not going to start right away or is not going to be an every down DN.
It makes me believe that you overvalue your own roster, right? I mean, to a point.
But Dougie's got confidence in the roster.
But Dougie should have confidence in his roster because that would be bad coaching.
Yeah,
but as a general manager of a goddamn football team, there isn't that excuse because you can't have blinders on when it comes to your roster. Which, okay, then you can say, oh, well, that's why I cut Marcus Smith. It almost makes me think, oh, it's just because it wasn't me. I didn't draft him. But, you just can't have blinders on. You can't fall in love with all your players when you're a general manager. It has to be a different approach. You have to be more cutthroat. You have to be more what's best for the football team, not what makes you feel good or what player talks to you the most or whatever the case may be. Howie Roseman to me, this is a good roster right now, but I despise him. And more every day. Because you're cutting a guy you drafted 3 years in. Well, first-round guy.
Comment from
That's reaches. Reaches don't happen in the first round.
Yeah, comment from Jay Lash. The release of Smith and the trade of Barberry frees up how much cash, which I believe it's almost $5 million. He says, I have a feeling a Revis jersey may be in the works.
And that's ridiculous.
I doubt it. If they go after anybody, I think it's going to be Kyle Fuller from the Bears.
I'm okay with Kyle Fuller. I have zero time for Darrell Revis. We've seen that act.
And what's the point of getting an aging guy? Fuller's different. Fuller's a little younger. But again, if you're going to go after that impact guy in the secondary, why didn't you draft him? There was enough of them there.
He never learned anything from Andy.
No.
Howie learned zero from being able just to see what Andy did. No, really, he learned zero because Andy would draft a lot of corners.
But Andy
not saying he nailed them all,
but in the trenches though.
All he ever drafted was corners and offensive line.
Well, that's it. Andy built in the trenches, so he did make his fair share of, defensive end mistakes.
No question.
But
there's always going to be mistakes.
Yeah. But and that's where the offensive line is improved. And I think that's what made a guy like Barberry, who never really flourished here, expendable. And I don't think anyone has a problem with Barberry because
no.
We talked about Wisniewski and Warmack coming
real quick.
in.
I don't have a problem with Marcus Smith either. I have more of a problem that you messed up.
No, yeah.
Right, yeah.
It's not even people think I'm out there crowning Marcus Smith. Listen, I always said it. When a guy beats the best left tackle in football, nobody beats that man. There's got to be some talent there that I need to be able to get out on a consistent basis. But when you're not on the football field, how am I supposed to see that talent or evaluate it in practice? Yeah. At the professional level, I need to see what you do when the lights turn on. Plain and simple. And listen, he never got his chance for whatever reason. Is it a work ethic reason? I don't know. Okay, whatever the reason is, he's not here. And that's one strike Howie going into this year out of me because you're only getting 3 going into this year. So we'll see what else he does. Now, if he brings in a guy like Kyle Fuller, that's fine. That's completely fine. But then what are you telling me, again, why would you go sign Patrick Robinson then? Why don't you just try to make these things happen before this? Like you said, draft a corner. Sign a better corner than Patrick freaking Robinson, who stinks.
And as much as I love Sidney Jones, and I love that pick of Sidney Jones, if you needed someone right away, why didn't you get someone healthy right away?
Do you think they thought Sidney Jones was going to actually heal faster?
I don't think so. I truly think they thought this is exactly
red shirt.
Yeah, I think they thought it was going to be exactly how it's playing out. I just don't know if they realized.
Where have we seen that before? Draft an injured guy and stash him for a year. Trust the process.
Yeah, here we go. The whole city's buying in.
But you're right.
City's buying in, Mike. Howie's like, can I get a billboard? Trust the Roseman? I don't know anything.
Trust the Powie?
Trust the yarmulke.
I trust a lot of
L'chaim.
yarmulkes, not his.
I mean, there's nothing that Howie's done to me that has, made me want him to stay. You know what I mean? I
like Alshon. I mean, don't get things, don't mistake things here. I like some things he's done this all season, and you can call Band-Aid, whatever, but I like some things in some ways he's going about contracts this offseason. But when it comes to draft day, there is zero confidence in him on draft day. Now, we talk about hopefully Joe Douglas has a little bit more say and a little bit more say in this draft, but he doesn't if Derek Barnett doesn't get on the field day one, and it's another situation where I draft at the end and he's not ready to go. I'm talking, the project the end. So that's why Vinny Carey to me is on this roster. I don't think there's even a question about that one. And Marcus Smith cleared that one up, even because the poll question was done last night. Like I said, Kelsey, I believe, is on it. I don't think he gets cut. Selleck, I could see maybe, but I just don't. I don't see it yet.
Well, they have this
one
kid,
more year maybe.
They have this kid that's out of Division II Shepherd, Billy Brown, and he's like 6'5", 240, and it seems like Doug and basically everybody on the offensive side of the football just is in love with this guy. Now, with Selleck, I think his days as a big pass-catching tight end are over. But if none of these guys, and I'm talking Ertz, Trey Burton, and Billy Brown, if none of these guys can block, Selleck's going to be on this team. No question about it. Now, if Ertz has improved his blocking, if Burton has improved his blocking, and this kid Billy Brown can, put some lumber on some guys, you save some money by cutting Selleck. And, at this point with these guys, they made a lot of moves in the offseason and they put themselves right up against the cap. And if they want to have any kind of flexibility to fill positions of need as camp goes on, they're going to have to move some guys. So I do feel like, as much as I hate to say it, one of those four guys is either going to get traded or be a cap casualty. I just don't think there's any way around it. I don't know about Kendricks just because they lack serious linebacker depth.
Sure.
But if Kendricks gets you Kyle Fuller, there you go.
I could see Selleck. Like you said, I could see Selleck if one of the guys can block because there is talent. You do have Burton. You do have some talent back there. So I could see Selleck. Obviously, he's not your starter, and
right.
You have Burton, so that gives you two with Ertz and Burton. And then if one of these other guys, Billy Brown or Denham or any of these other guys can play tight end and block a little bit, then he could be a casualty.
Jay Lash just tossed out there, saw Adam Zaruba play in Canada once. Dude is an absolute monster. Dude is an absolute project. He's a rugby player. Come on, Jay Lash.
We love projects here.
And then Philly Sports chimes in again. What about Jordan Matthews? Been rumors about a trade for him. Seems like the odd man out. Nelson Aguilar and Mac Hollins are making a big push for the slot position.
Maybe a trade that gets you maybe a better corner. Maybe package him in a pick, and it can get you top 2 tier corner, right? Unless you're coming hard with a first and him, there ain't no way you're getting a top tier, even below top number 1 tier.
No, and
I think him in a late pick can land you a good solid 2.
Well, I think the problem with him is that his numbers, even though a lot of it was done in a chip offense, his numbers are going to warrant him getting $10, $11, $12 million a year in his next contract. So it's going to have to be a team that's either going to be losing guys next year that they can backfill with Matthews if they extend him, or a team with a lot of cap room.
Yeah,
or Cleveland.
With the way a lot of the contracts are structured right now, they're all 1 years. So so if you trade Jordan Matthews and then you don't re-sign Alshon Jeffrey, now what do you have? And if you're trying to build talent around Carson Wentz, I understand the need for Hollins and Aguilar, have a good season, then that does kind of free it up. But now you're taking your top 2 receivers and just all of a sudden after 1 year saying thank you, or after this year saying goodbye. I have a hard time imagining that they're going to let Jordan Matthews go without already re-signing Alshon.
But do you honestly think that they're not going to re-sign Alshon? Like, I think that's a 1-year deal because that's all they could afford at the time.
And it could be. And I think you're right. I think there's
a
back room.
Yeah, wink, nod.
A back room. Hey, this is a 1-year deal. Yeah, you're absolutely right. But at the same time, who knows in the NFL with the injuries? Who knows? What if he goes out and blows his ACL and you're not re-signing him now?
Better knock on something.
Yeah, I don't
talk about that.
Like, to that point, I don't see him
mouth.
going. I think him and Carson have a really good chemistry together, which makes me think that he'll be around this year.
Yeah.
I don't see him going. I mean, I think Aguilar's going to make a big push and get a lot of playing time because I think he's just going to make it hard on him. And I think not the odd man out in terms of getting traded or cut, but I think you could see Smith take a little bit of a backdoor, if anybody, to the younger players.
I think
making a push, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The Hollins and Aguilar making a push, then I would see Matthews taking a step back or being dealt. That's just my opinion.
I think Carson Wentz is what Alshon Jeffrey wanted Jay Cutler to be, and he could never get there.
Well, he probably wanted Jay Cutler to be a lot of things that Jay Cutler wasn't. You know what I mean? One being a man.
It's interesting. We threw out that question a couple of days ago on the book with Nelson Aguilar and the stats. One of my friends, Andy, mentioned that he doesn't expect a big year out of him just because he doesn't think there's enough football to go around. When you talk about the 3 tight ends, you talk about Sproles and Pumphrey out of the backfield, and then of course he's at least 4th right now on paper on the depth chart behind Jeffrey, Smith, and Matthews. And I mean, the logic is there. I mean, I think all 3 of us are hoping he has a big year and he breaks out. But I think to your point in what you said last, if he does, someone's got to take a step back. And exactly, who is that? Because right now on paper, there's not enough ball to go around for everybody.
Well, I mean, that depends who you ask. Really, it really does. Because you talk about a team and out of the old Andy philosophy that can throw the ball 50 times a freaking game. So, I mean, there's plenty of balls to go around, when you're throwing that much. You could see that a lot more than you would see a team trying to run the ball a lot. I could just picture that. Especially how much they love Carson year 2.
You know what?
You want to get the ball in his hands a lot. Maybe not 50, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think they're going to throw the ball a lot. That it's not going to be a problem spreading it around. We're forgetting Sproles, touches out of the back.
Well,
that's the thing. I don't disagree with you, but if that winds up being the case, they're wasting a lot of money on LeGarrette Blount. Because if they're going to throw it 40, 45, 50 times a game, you'd be just fine with Wendell Smallwood, Darren Sproles, and Donnell Pumphrey out of the back.
I don't necessarily completely agree with that because goal line situations, he's a big time factor, and it's a team that going back to Chip couldn't get it done. Goal line situations. Now you bring in a power back to be able to help you in goal line situations and be able to hold on to the football late in games too. So I think that you can still throw the ball 40 times a game and get your running backs plenty of touches if you're going to be the offense that you think you can be. You know what I mean? So. Yeah, and if you're getting off the field 3 and outs and your defense can be what we've hoped they could be, then yeah.
You're going to have a lot of opportunities.
So just it all depends and ebb and flow of a year and a game. But, this defense is the one that I need to look at and say, who are we getting? What front 7 am I getting? What Fletcher Cox am I getting? I mean, all this really plays a part in it. Am I going to be that hurt at the second corner? Ron Brooks is probably going to be my nickel. I know people say Rasul Douglas, but I think that's Ron Brooks' job to lose. You guys disagree with that?
No, I think Rasul's the 4th corner, and he's going to have to win an outside job. I don't think he takes the slot job from Brooks.
Yeah, and if it's not, I think it's a guy like Malcolm Jenkins who has that versatility that can do a little bit of both.
He can't do a little both though.
Well, they might think he does.
No, they continue to think he does, but he doesn't.
Yeah.
He doesn't do a little bit of both. This organization, for the last 2 stinking years, has decided to move their Pro Bowl safety into the nickel. He told you, when New Orleans told you, when he started at corner, he wasn't good enough.
It was
obvious.
He wasn't a good cornerback at Ohio State.
Yeah.
Right, but what did we say last year? The reason that he plays safety is because he can't play corner.
Yeah, but they continuously want to go into camp short at that position. So finally, we go into camp where you can say, okay, we do have 2 nickel guys, hopefully. and Brooks, because this defense was different. People talk about Lane Johnson and line. I get that. But this team got crushed when they lost Ron Brooks. The game changer for this football team wasn't as much Lane Johnson as it was Ron Brooks, because you need a nickel that can at least be a nickel and cover enough. Right? Like most time, you're not going to get it done, but you need a guy who can cover, because it's so important. They cover guys out of the goddamn slot. But what this team did is hurt two positions. They moved the Pro Bowl safety, who can't cover nobody in that kind of position, up the nickel, and then went Jalen Watkins behind him, who wasn't good enough to play safety. Yeah. So instead of saying, hey, we're just not going to be good enough in one spot, we're going to hurt two. The fact that I can sit on this goddamn sectional and see that with my eyes, I could have fired a lot.
Well,
I could have gone down and fired Jim Schwartz on the spot. And said, what are we doing, Jamie?
And if Jalen Watkins started his career as a corner, why didn't they just have him play in the slot?
Really? Seriously?
I mean, if you're going to get burned out of the slot, you might as well get burned with a corner.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Go sign some guy off the, scrap heap and just say, hey, you go do it. You look good. I'm not moving my Pro Bowl safety.
He's there for a reason.
Mike Sypek, what up? Isn't Alshon one failed piss test away from a long suspension? Reward him at the end of the season. Is here, can stay clean and healthy. Yeah, it's pretty much the idea.
Yeah.
You got to get him through a year, and if he stays clean. Although it wouldn't surprise me, even though I think we're all in agreement that they have the wink, wink, nudge, nudge, if they didn't sign him 1 year at a time for several years. And it may be at big money to get him to agree to 1 year at a time. But if I'm the Eagles, I may be looking at him and his agent going, look, you screw up, you're done. So I'll give you a shitload of money right now, but we're only committing to 1 year at a time. Now, you play well, the next year comes, it's not an issue. Mm-hmm. But if your pee comes out green instead of yellow or clear, bye-bye.
Yeah, because he's in a tough situation, because you can say, if he has a monster year, you franchise him, but you don't trust the piss test to be able to put that kind of money in, Because you can come out and say, if he goes for 1,400 and 12 touchdowns, you just franchise his ass, and you don't got to lose him. But then you say to yourself, if it comes out green, shit, now I'm going to lose a lot of green.
Right, and you know who he could thank for that? Lane Johnson. Because if the Eagles hadn't been burned by Lane Johnson getting a 10-gamer last year,
they'd be a little more, a little more willing to take a shot,
take a risk, right?
for longer.
But I have a hard time. While I understand exactly what you're saying, I have a hard time thinking somebody in the NFL with the guaranteed contracts or the non-guaranteed contracts agreeing to a 1 year deal without getting some sort of security other than just a big payday. You know what I mean? Like, a part of like the big, even the 2-3 year deals is the guaranteed. Is that front-loaded guaranteed signing bonus?
But if you're getting a signing bonus every year on top of 17, 18, 19 million, you're basically betting on yourself. And if you don't have the balls to bet on yourself, then you're a problem. Because then you're saying you can't stay clean.
No, and I agree with you. I just think that if it continues to go for more than a year, the rest of the NFL catches on and says, hey, I'll give you a little bit more security than a 1 year deal. I'll give you this, it's the NFL.
And it's going to depend on how much he likes being here. So, going back to our original thought process, who are you guys most looking forward to see as camp starts? Is there one guy that you're just like really zoomed in on?
I think it's got to be
besides the quarterback, because everybody's looking at the quarterback.
Well, that's the obvious one, and of course, I'm jazzed up to see him year two.
Oh, no doubt.
You want to see the big steps and the progress and all that. I'm really looking forward to this wide receiving core being different, and I don't want to pinpoint a guy I'm looking forward to, but I'm looking forward to seeing less drops. I'm looking forward to seeing the foursome that's going to be rolled out there from Alshon, the Smith, the Matthews, and Aguilar. I think that can be really dangerous and hungry too. You got a hungry core there of a lot of guys that know it's almost payday. And they got to perform, and I think that's a good recipe for success too, and a lot of competition, which we all love here. So I'm really keen on that on the opposite side of the ball, and on the defense side of the ball. I guess we'll play both. Defense side of the ball, Fletcher Cox, because it's make or break. You got paid a lot of money, and you need to be the leader. And I don't care if you're double, triple, quadruple teamed. the greats and the guys who get paid a lot of money beat it. Yeah. Plain and simple.
Let me ask you a question about your point about the wide receivers, because I love what you said there. Do you think Torrey Smith is a starter? Are they paying him starters money? Because I'm wondering if Torrey Smith is in a situation where obviously Alshon's out there every down. And I think they're probably going to have Jordan Matthews operating out of the slot probably 75 to 80% of the snaps. But that other wide receiver position, I mean, is that an open competition between Torrey Smith and Nelson Aguilar?
No question about it.
Or do we think Smith is the guy and Aguilar is the guy who's going to be, he's going to be spelling Alshon. He's going to be spelling Matthews. He's going to be spelling Smith.
I think Torrey plays that role more than Nelson does.
I think,
and I don't have a problem with that. I like that.
That's just the way I look at it. But it all depends on who gets it done in camp and who gets it done in preseason. And from all reports, Aguilar's working his tail off.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I think it might be a combination of a couple things. Whether flat out competition. Maybe Smith's there on paper, but that's saying, hey, Nelson, let's see what you really got. Mm. And then we've already talked about you have 2 tight ends that can catch the ball.
Right.
And you have 2 running backs that are dynamic out of the backfield in Sproles and Pumphrey. So I think it comes down to a straight-up competition, but also what package is going to be on the field.
Right.
Are you going 2 running backs? Are you going 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers, 3 wide receivers? So I
4,
think
which they're a big
4 wide
fan of
receivers.
Too.
So I think it's a couple factors, but in my head I like the idea of a competition because I want to see someone rise to it and take it.
The amount of weapons that this team has on the offensive side of the ball is borderline ridiculous.
Well, is anybody good enough at the wide receiver position outside of Alshon to say, well, that's your spot?
No, it's Alshon.
That's what I mean. But anybody outside of him, is anybody else that you can say? I mean, you can say Jordan out of the slot.
Probably Jordan out of the slot.
Okay, but that outside, can you say to either one of them that, like, you've done enough in this league? I mean, Torrey's a good wide receiver. I mean, let's not make him more than he is. And if Nelson is who people are talking about, how he looks, I don't think there's a question Torrey becomes the guy who moves around. And plus, he's a little older, too, in the leg, which saves him. Because you want to use him in spots and utilize the things he can do well.
Right.
We're running four wide all the time.
Yeah. Go route. And Nelson's a better route runner than Torrey is. Now, Torrey's in his career has caught the ball better than Nelson. So, there's a double-edged sword there. But, like I said, if Nelson gets the finish down, I don't think there's a question.
Well, a couple people on the YouTube chat have said that if we get the Baltimore version of Torrey, he's going to be ridiculous. So, fingers crossed.
Yeah.
How about you? Guys you're most looking forward to seeing.
Counter to Tom, I want to see the cornerbacks.
Okay.
And it's the thought that they need another or they need a bigger name. I want to see Jalen Mills' his progression. I want to see those 4 or 5 guys go against the 4 or 5 wide receivers every day and see how they stack up. Because, there's probably better group of receivers just because you're probably top 2 throughout the league are probably better. But, when you can go 4 or 5 deep and, somewhat legitimate NFL guys, the cornerbacks are going to have a good battle every day. So I would like to see the cornerbacks and, on the offensive side of the ball, I want to see what Pumphrey does against legitimate competition.
So he falls into your young buck category as well as the guy you most want to see.
Yeah, I want to see what he does. I want to see what he does against legitimate competition, not out in the SWAC or whatever the frig it was.
12:45 a.m. games.
And I'm sitting there watching it and betting it,
Because we're a bunch of
Who's playing? 200 on the over.
Degenerates. So,
San Diego State's on the Ocho. Turn it on.
So those are my two.
Nice. Well, I'm going with the beef. Now, you gave Fletcher Cox. I'm actually really looking forward to seeing Tim Jernigan. I mean, this guy, if he turns out to be everything that he is advertised to be, and you're lining him up on a defensive line with Brandon Graham, Fletcher Cox, and Vinnie Curry, and he already comes with the reputation of being a good pass rushing tackle who can stop the run if you need him. Mm-hmm. Now, Jim Schwartz is saying yesterday that he actually sees him as a better fit than Benny Logan and an underrated run stopper. So for me, On the defensive side of the ball, I want to see Fletcher Cox and Timmy Jernigan together. But I know what Fletcher Cox is, and we just need him to be what we know he is. So I want to see Timmy Jernigan. And on the offensive side of the ball, for as much as I love Carson
Fletcher
Wentz,
Cox has to play well on the road.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I mean, he gets it done at home, but
you're absolutely right.
He's invincible on the road, and
Yeah,
he needs to get it done. Too much money to go away on the road.
He don't sleep well in hotels because he doesn't do squat.
Guess not. I say to Marriott with this, like...
You don't have the sleep number bed.
Oh, I say this Marriott that had, like, its own, like, wellness floor. I don't know if you've seen it. And it was right next to Tampa's arena in Tampa. And I said, the players must stay in that room because it was like, supposedly like this fresh air and it's all this, like, I don't know.
Clean oxygen.
I felt it. I felt it.
Were you rejuvenated?
For like a minute.
The Eagles need to go out and buy like an industrial-sized hyperbaric chamber and just have Fletcher Cox sleep in it before every road game.
Just put Fletcher in there.
Yeah.
But no, he needs to show up, Mike. And Jernigan's a great name. I loved him at FSU. Really was high on him, and he can get after the quarterback. And now when you're talking about getting, you're going against one guy. You're not going to get double-teamed, Timmy. So that's where you need to get the job done where Benny didn't last year.
Right.
Benny's another guy. Been hurt a lot. Guys that have that knack for the injury are guys that I have a lot. I put the caution tape up with, and I get nervous about. And Benny was one of them guys. I feel like he always was nicked up. Well, something kept him out for too long, and then you're going to Bo Allen, who's just not good enough.
Right. Well, let's be honest about it for a second, though. You had guys.
Got great hair, though.
There you go.
Great locks, yeah.
But you had,
you
had Benny Logan, and you had Bo Allen, and you had Taylor Hart, and every one of them was the quote-unquote great run stopper. Well, you know why they're a great run stopper? Because they're too goddamn slow to get to the quarterback. So they better be a great run stopper. So for me, Jernigan is, he's like the Fletcher Cox light. He's the guy who's going to be able to do both or should be able to do both. And if he can, watch out.
And he needs to be able to stop the run, too.
Yeah.
I mean, as a whole and as a man, this football team defensively, them 11 guys need to look in the mirror and say, we got to get the job done stopping the run this year. We cannot continue to get gashed like we get gashed in some games. It's ridiculous.
You also got to keep those offensive linemen off of Jordan Hicks and Nigel Braddock.
They're too small not to.
Yeah.
They really are.
Yeah.
And I'm fine with it. I'm fine with the quick linebackers and the small ones who can maneuver and make plays and go sideline to sideline.
Those two guys can play.
Yeah, they can flat out play and they can go sideline to sideline. I love it. They can cover all them things. And Bragum is a dog, too, out there, too, which I love. But you're right. You got to keep guys off of them to be able to let them make plays and roam around. And I think that's something we didn't do well on the defensive line last year. To a man where Marcus Smith, who seemed to was a good run stopper, where do you add in that run stopper? And I'm not crowning this guy again. I'm just saying, who is that? Is Brandon Graham a good run stopper? Better than he was. I'll give him credit that he's gotten better. Vinny Carey? No. Okay. Is Chris Long considered a good run stopper?
He's average.
Yeah.
Right? Who else? And now it's Derek Barnett. Now considered a good run stopper.
No, he's known for rushing the passer.
He's your quarterback.
So who is it?
He's get to your quarterback.
That's my point. Who DN-wise is a good enough run stopper? That's important, too.
It was Marcus Smith until he said goodbye.
That's important, too. And Derek Barnett, I can't go back to it. Derek Barnett needs to be on the field day one. If he can't stop the run, then he needs to learn to quick, on the fly. I don't like project, you sit a guy. It does nothing for a guy. We talked about last year with Carson, man, ad nauseum. I had videos coming off my timeline. The conspiracy theories that the Eagles are running the heck out there last year. And I was tired of it. But and I stand by my point. And it goes to the Phillies and it goes to all young kids. Get them up as quick as possible and let them get their feet wet because it's going to make them better. It's going to make them better long term. If they're good enough to do it, it will. And this goes for this kid. If you're good enough, okay, you might struggle a little bit. Ebb and flow NFL season, nicks and bruises. But if you're good enough, the talent's going to shine and show.
Well, and it's
so.
Let me hit my offensive side of the ball real quick.
Sorry.
No, it's okay because I want to come back to this point. For me, it's LeGarrette Blount. I want to see 15 to 18 carries a game, 80 to 85 yards on the ground, grind the clock, give the threat of running the ball so you keep your quarterback clean, and a running back that can also pass block. And I love this guy at Oregon. He couldn't keep himself out of trouble. He's been a model citizen since he got into the NFL. He played for Belichick, and what do we always say? If he's good enough for Belichick, he's good enough for me. So I'm really looking forward to seeing LeGarrette Blount. But going back to this point, I mean, you guys are both baseball coaches, and Greg, you're in at the high school level. And to your point, and I think it translates across the board. If you have a senior and a sophomore or a freshman that play the same position, that are of the same ability level, and that senior hasn't been a 3 or 4 year starter, who are you playing? Playing the freshman or the sophomore, and that senior's going to find another position because you want to get the kid in, and as long as you don't have a dramatic drop-off in ability level, you're going to play the kids.
Yeah, you'll take your lumps if you have to.
Because you want that kid to grow through his sophomore, junior, senior year. And
build a program around.
Yeah, and then you want to have another one come up just like him and force him to find a different position his senior year. So professional sports-wise, it should be no different. You should be looking for a Derek Barnett to be able to unseat a Vinnie Curry or a Brandon Graham. You should be looking for a J.P. Crawford to unseat a Freddie Galvis. You should be looking for, a Furkan Korkmaz to say Jared Bayless is expendable. I mean, it's natural progression. Hockey. I mean, you should be looking for a guy like a Sam Moran or a Robert Hagg to say goodbye to Andrew McDonald, or Nick Schultz, or, pick your random veteran defenseman. I mean, you should always be running at least 1, 2, 3 rookies into the lineup every year to keep it moving, to keep the train moving.
Yeah, and when you look at Barnett, if he's not good enough to beat out Vinnie Curry and Chris Long, then how good is he? Right? I mean, if you're not good out of camp to beat out 2 average DNs in the league, how good are you?
Yeah, average veterans that.
Look,
they are who they are. I mean, I'm not taking shots at either one. They are who they are.
I know there's a lot of frustration over the pick, but the kid was good enough to break Reggie White's sack record at Tennessee. I'm going to give him every shot in the world.
No question. That's not my issue with the pick right now. My issue is.
But there's a lot of people that are taking that shot like all he can do is rush the passer, and maybe that's the case, but I'm willing to see what else he can do.
That's fine, but he needs to be an every down D end in this league. And he needs to be on the field day one as your starter. Because if he's not, it's either babying from the coaching staff or the front office, okay? Or he's not good enough to start. Yeah.
Or you wasted a first-round pick on a specialized player.
Yeah, right. So the way we're talking is like, get your feet wet.
Yeah.
Take some lumps.
Yeah.
Do some things wrong and get your ass chewed out in a meeting, right? Do all them things that rookies are going to go through. But as the season goes on, are you getting better? Is it showing? Is it translating? Right? You can tell right off Jump Street. Watch him put the hand in the dirt, and you're going to know first time he rushes a passer when we see him, either if he's got that burst and that pass rushing ability or not. You're going to see right from jump.
Well, I'll tell you
what. I'm not going to see it. Didn't see it 100 times. How quick are you off the ball?
Yeah.
How quick is that first step?
Now, I'll tell you what I do like about him, though, is if you listen to him talk, like the reporters were joking with him yesterday about having one of the portable lockers in the middle of the locker room, like he doesn't have a stall, and they said to him, they're like
700 guys in there.
Well, they said, you're a first-round draft pick. Shouldn't you have a locker? And he goes, I haven't made a play in this league yet. I don't deserve anything.
I love that.
I love
that.
How do you not love that?
That eats that up. I'm a big fan of that one.
That to me puts him in a nice big bright light for me. I'm good with that.
But I love a talker. You gotta go get it done though. Yeah. and I have no issue with the pick anymore because why would I? Like you said, we love SEC players. When in doubt, SEC.
Sure.
It's real simple.
It's the minor league of the NFL.
It's never wavered in my eyes. And so if they were in doubt and this kid did everything he did in the SEC against the best of the best, go ahead. Because finding the guy that can get after the quarterback is tough to find. And if you find one and you nail it, you're in good shape defensively for a long time. Von Miller, now granted, I'm not comparing to Von Miller, but I'm making a point. Now granted, they really upgraded their secondary over there, okay? But just that impact that he created there changed a whole defensive culture. Changed it all.
That's what.
And I'm not saying he has to be him, but if you can go get it, you can change everything. Now, right, you don't have to cover for 5 seconds.
Right.
It helps everybody. Yeah. It helps the secondary.
Well, that's like DeMarcus Ware wrote that Players Tribune article about the 5 toughest guys. And one of the guys he mentioned was Von Miller.
Right.
Because he said everyone talked about how DeMarcus Ware was the fastest guy, and then Von Miller comes in and he goes, Oh, no, you're not taking my spot. And again, it's like we talked about here with the wide receivers, with the secondary. Competition. Mm-hmm. So if Barnett is that guy, then hopefully that brings out some Vinny Curry. Hopefully that rejuvenates a Chris Long coming off a Super Bowl win. And even Brandon Graham, who's the only supplanted starter on this on the end.
On the end, yep.
He's the only guy that's locked in as a starter.
On paper. On my paper, Derek is.
Well, yeah.
If Howie allows me to do a paper.
So
I don't want to step on the big, the big Cahoon's shoes.
So hopefully that talent helps bring some competition and raises the game of everybody else.
I agree.
Yeah, and Vinny Madsen saying, we're right. When you can pressure the QB without a blitz, you're money. You really are.
He's not wrong.
And we know Brandon can get after quarterbacks. There's no issue there. So if now Derek's going to be in good spot. I mean, what other spot you want to be in? You're going to get manned up on the outside because they're going to double Fletcher. That's going to create that. That's where they're going to go to first, and they're going to go Brandon Graham. That's where we're going to shift guys to in schemes. So what does that allow you to do? You're going to get a lot of one-on-one. What better time than jump to say, hey, you're the starter? Because if a guy goes down, God forbid, then that creates more pressure for him.
Right.
But just to get your feet wet right off the gate, right out of jump, you're the starter. What, because they're scared if he doesn't get it done? Like, if he doesn't get a sack the first game, it's like, oh, Derek Barnett's not good enough. Howie.
All right, well,
Howie.
But if you've got two DTs that will draw a double and a D end on the other side who's going to draw a double at various times, if this kid can't beat one-on-one coverage against the tackle, then you made a mistake in the draft, and you need to own up to that yourself. Otherwise, he needs to be on the field.
Yeah, because the good D ends, even when, rookie years, you see that flash to get after it. You see that. And it really will change the whole secondary, how we look at it. Linebackers all the way through it. His front seven that we talked about last year should have been a top 5, 10 in football, and just flat out didn't get it done as a whole, and mainly because of your big money man.
Yeah.
Wasn't good enough. Right. And, the guy next to him goes down. So, I think we're a little deeper than we were, especially in the end. I mean, in the end, we're in really good shape with, if guys do go down, there's vets behind that can get after the quarterback. But, when I line up them four, I feel like I'm in good shape. And I don't see why I would give it to Chris Long or anybody else.
Right. So, all right. So, obviously we know that we have a big focus on Carson. Obviously, we've now talked at length about Derek Barnett. What other young guys, and I'm talking, rookies, second year, maybe even third year guys that are under the radar, what other young guys are you looking forward to seeing?
Oh, I mean, I flat out love Jalen Mills. I mean, you just watch the video at LSU of him having to get through like every player. I don't know if you've ever seen that video. You'll fall in love.
Oh, yeah.
Instantly you'll fall in love because the guy's a flat-out worker, a fighter, and I'll pay guys like that on my football team any day of the week, twice on Sunday, obviously. And when in doubt, SEC. When in doubt, if you're looking for a D-back, LSU.
Yeah.
I mean, some things just translate. So I'm really looking forward to the year 2 progression. I thought he played with a swagger out there. I know some people didn't like the wag and that. I like that, man. I want my guys to play with swagger.
Yeah.
Okay? Even if ball is overthrown, play with it. Like, nah, you weren't going to catch it on me anyway. People don't realize this when they look at professional sports, that this gets these guys going. It keeps them in the game. It matters to some guys to play the game like that. And he's physical, and I think year 2 is going to be a big year for Jalen Mills.
And it's interesting that you say that because this is like, I completely agree with you, and it's so counterintuitive because we get into the argument all the time about Odubel Herrera is an absolute clown, but Jalen Mills plays with swagger. And they're really the same guy.
I know. That's why I don't.
It's just different sports.
That's why I don't say a word about Odubel.
And the culture of the sport is completely different.
I don't say a word about Odubel.
Well,
I think not to go there, but I think it's the culture of the sport.
Yeah, it's the culture
That's
of the sport.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
It is, but the culture of the sport's changing, and people can't.
Oh, it is.
And people can't realize that.
But
people can't. No, let me wrap your head around it. It's a. Let's be real. It's heavy Latino. They play with a swagger.
There's no question. I have no problem with the swagger. I have a problem bat flipping it out.
I don't care. I mean, it doesn't.
Wow, did I just flip that shit way too fast?
If they were a better baseball team, then maybe it would bother me. It just doesn't bother me. It is what it is. It is what it is. Okay, you bat flipped a 405 foot out the other night. Okay, you know what I mean? It's not like you bat flipped a pop up. And if he does, it's just maybe just like getting it out of his hand like that. Maybe everything he does is a flip. It's flash. You don't have to like it, but you can deal with it when guys produce.
I'll
give you that. And that's all that matters.
I found it interesting though.
If it was a better baseball team, I actually take it back. If it was a better baseball team, I think we would love the antic. Honestly, I don't think it would even faze us if we were first place in the NL East right now. I don't think it would phase us.
You're right.
We would laugh about it.
If we were
That's their double.
Yeah,
that's their baby.
He'd be like, yeah. I mean, it's
we're doing
the horns.
If we're in first place, we just kind of like nod our head and smile.
We go on every show. Give me a bat.
We'd have little flippy bats to use on the show. Little styrofoam flippy bats. But
anyway, back to your Eagles.
How about you, young guy? Looking forward to seeing. I know you said Pumphrey, but
I kind of mentioned a couple, but I do have another one. Pumphrey, I do like to see, and I mentioned it. Same thing with Mills. I want to see the progression, but the big one is Salamalo.
Okay,
because
it's a good one.
Now with Barberry gone, with the potential of Kelsey gone, he's in a big spot now. He's in a starter role somewhere on that inside three, wherever it is. So I got to see if he's there. You got to see if he's really the big deal, because that was a perceived reach of a pick.
Right.
You could have gotten him 2-3 rounds later, and you went and you took him, and he didn't impress me his rookie year. He didn't really impress me.
Who's this again? I'm sorry.
Salamalo.
Okay, good.
So if he's going to anchor your line, or he's going to be a part of your anchor, I got to see something from him.
No, it's good. It's real good. For me, I actually have three, but they're all kind of one, and it's Joe Walker, Don Cherry, and Nathan Gary. It's the three young linebackers. You have Joe Walker, who was on fire in camp last year, got hurt, wound up spending the entire season on IR. And then, obviously, Don Cherry was a guy who was on their practice squad last year. Not the hockey Don Cherry, but Villanova Don Cherry. And then Nathan Gary, who was the strong safety at Nebraska, who they're going to try to convert to linebacker because they want him to try to take Michael Kendrick's spot. And I want to see, number one, can any of these guys step up and get rid of Kendricks? Do we have depth at linebacker? Are these guys going to be nothing more than special team guys, or can one or two or all three of them fight their way onto the field? Bradham, like you said, is a dog, but we know Jordan Hicks has an injury history. Kendricks has an injury history, and he's slow.
And soft.
Yeah, and soft. So can one of these three guys really step up and make an impact? Because, again, going back to the draft, there were impact linebackers on the board when Derek Barnett was drafted. Mm-hmm. So
yes, there was.
If we can't fix the linebacker situation from within right now, then, what are we going to do? Are we going linebacker next year? It's like it becomes a situation where are you going to find yourself year after year after year after year now drafting defense because you haven't been able to get it right?
And if that's the case, not to real jump forward, but if we're then thinking linebacker again next year, more than likely again we're in the top 15.
It's possible.
You know what I mean? Because that means our defense didn't bail us out or didn't step up the way we all thought and expect them to.
So do we want to give our way too early predictions and then hit a break, given that we're rolling on almost an hour of Eagles talk here? Which I love. I looked at the clock and I'm like, wow.
I didn't even realize it.
We've been rolling almost an hour with Eagles talk. This is great.
I had no clue.
Like it doesn't even
Football
faze
is
me.
back.
Football is back.
Listen, I'm not gonna lie. It was a weird coming tonight with everything. It was different. We talked so much other sports. Besides draft stuff, it's been so heavy. NBA and Sixers and different. Outside of Philly and Phillies talk and prospects. It's been everything but NFL and Eagles, and it was just weird to come in and almost familiarize yourself with the team again, almost, right? Because we were saying yesterday about Nick Foles, and I was like, I didn't realize until I watched the video on Carson, and I see Nick, and I said, I forgot all about this guy. I forgot all about him too. Because I've been so away, you get so away from it for a while that, by no stress, I know more about the Eagles than beat writers do, but I'm not going to follow them like a goddamn beat writer. But you know what I mean? Some of these guys want to write about them every day and look for things like, oh, so-and-so's in Jamaica. Nobody cares.
But see, a lot of that, though, is intentional. Because I wanted to come in hot tonight with the Eagles, with, full squad reporting tomorrow, with all of us not having talked about it ad nauseum for 3 weeks. And being able to look at the Foles jersey on the wall and go, oh, yeah, it's time once again.
Nicky One Glove is back.
Nicky One Glove.
Oh, my goodness.
And the fact that Shady's on the wall and they still haven't assigned the number 25 jersey to anybody cracks me up.
Is he coming back?
Probably not, but that's okay. So, our way too early predictions, given what we know today.
You want me to get the party started? Because
we'll do all of it.
I'm also a guy one year after me and Wilson, after Sammy Sleece slung it around in preseason, we were going 15-1. 15-1.
I love Sammy Sleeves too.
That preseason game against Green Bay changed it all, man. We were like, 15-1. Here we come.
Super Bowl.
Ronald Patterson.
15-1. It all starts today. All right, get us started, buddy.
Listen, it's simple progression to me. And if he is who we think he is, right, and who they think he is, then it should be a 10-6, 11-5 football team. If that's your franchise quarterback and he's what we believe he is, there's no excuse not to be. Zero, zilch, because it's all based on the quarterback position, and they can take you from 6-10 to 11-5 real quick. And I believe in this kid, and I believe in how much he works and everything. So I'm going to go 10-6, 11-5 with an opportunity to win the NFC East, depending on how it goes. They're deep. And anybody who thinks they're not, and I know Sean Spielman freaking chiming in about, since we're talking wide receivers, let's talk about the best wide receiving core in the NFC East, and he breaks down his Giants guys. All right, your quarterback's 90, and he's going to throw 45 interceptions this year. All right? Like I said, I'm not Mr. Dak. Not there yet. Best quarterback in the NFC East right now, in my opinion, is here in Philadelphia. And we're winning the NFC East, and it's going, let's go.
Yeah,
That's where I'm going, and I'm holding it. 11-5, and things could get cute. I could go, let me see, preseason game or two. I could jump into 12-4 and start talking some things. Because I believe in this goddamn, I believe in the ginger. Let's go.
We'll tell Sean Spellman that watch what happens the first time Brandon Marshall complains about not getting the ball enough.
Oh.
And then Odell complains about not getting the ball enough.
Oh. And Eli can't get him the ball enough.
And then Sterling Shepard complains about not getting the ball enough.
You shouldn't complain, Sterling.
Your goddamn best wide receiver core in the NFC East is going to implode. Mr. Milakovic, prediction.
I am on a different wavelength than Mr. Arnone over here.
Well, you're always on a different wavelength.
Which is, of course,
negative.
No, it's not negative.
Go ahead, because then it's not progression. Then all the moves that brought in on one-year deals aren't good enough. What it says about this entire roster is they're not good enough. Anything outside of a playoff appearance says all I need to know that none of it's good enough. Don't you? No, that's all you need to say. If this is not a playoff team, then the GM should be fired and everything should be fired, and maybe everybody's not good enough. Then that means your quarterback's not good enough, Greg.
I completely understand what
that
everything
means he's
you
not
just
good
said.
enough. That means you traded a lot to go get a guy who's not good enough, and I believe he's good enough. But if you don't think,
I think he's the only part that's good enough.
Then if he's the only part that's good enough, he's good enough to raise everything around it.
That may be. But I see 7-9. I see 7-9.
Oh,
7-9. That's a crock.
I think the schedule is tough, though.
You don't know the schedule.
The schedule is tough.
You can't even go over the schedule yet. You don't know what's going to happen. You can't break down the schedule. Anybody out there going through the schedule is a problem because you don't know who can get hurt. This, that, and the third.
Yeah.
I just go off. I didn't look at the damn schedule. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I don't look at it. I go off.
There you go.
Who should they be? No, who should they be? Okay? You go out and sign legitimate vets, the one-year deals that are talented. Okay? You have talent on this roster already. All right, you have one of the highest paid D tackles in football on your roster. Okay, you have Pro Bowl caliber talent all over. All right, your quarterback's going into his second year. You sign a guy who can get you in the end zone and the goal line, a power back, to add with your speed backs. Okay, anything short of a playoff appearance is a failure.
I completely agree.
Failure. Not happy.
I completely agree.
Not happy.
So
that was yours. This is mine.
I know. I don't like it.
And that's fine.
Now, see, this is where I take the best of both worlds.
Don't you put this on me, Ricky Bobby. Let's go.
See, this is where the intelligent guy comes in. I'm just going to lay that out there because
lay that when it's 11-5. I'll be puffing.
What you puff anyway.
I'll be walking around like this.
Here's what I do: is I take a look at the schedule, not individual games, but as a whole, and then I think to myself, what should they be? And I say, okay, well, NFC East, they should be able to go 4-2, which means they then have 10 games left. Can they go 6-4 or 7-3 in those remaining 10 games? Yeah, absolutely. So for me, they're a 10-6 football team, maybe 11-5, but I'm going to go 10-6, wild card, beat Tampa Bay in the wild card game, lose to Atlanta in the divisional round.
That's
big
fine.
step.
Yeah.
Big step.
Yeah, that's good. That's a jump. I didn't even get in. I didn't even throw any of that out there.
I told you it was well thought out.
Yeah, I just to me, you just need to get to the dance.
Sure.
And that's progression.
And I'm with you on that. That's what I hope for.
No, I know you
but
hope.
I when I looked at the schedule, I just thought there was tough, there was a tough road stretch here. There was a tough, you know what I mean? There was tough games that
I get that, but good football teams that are taking steps forward are mentally tough. And
I agree.
And no matter.
And again, that's what we hope for. I just don't know if it's this year.
I get you. But if it's not this year, then I'm worried on what year it would be. We're not talking Super Bowl or anything. We're just saying, get to the playoffs. I mean, this is the year to do it. This is the year to just get to the dance and take that step forward.
Sure.
Right? You expect your quarterback in year 2 to take a big step. There's big jumps from year 1 to 2 with quarterbacks. We know this. Okay, we see it. Proof's in the pudding, right? I need to see the jump. You did everything you can to put talent around him, and a lot of it, all right? A lot of talent. One, to make sure that your asset is being taken care of, and they took care of him. All I'm saying then, if we don't get to the playoffs, which I think is something we already know, that the guy running the whole show up top needs to officially be fired. Okay? That's on the record. If this team is not a playoff team, and that quarterback and Carson Wentz healthy all year, Howie Roseman needs to be fired.
Well,
sure.
And not because of Carson, just because I don't believe in anything he puts around them.
Joe Douglas is here for a reason. I'll leave it at that.
I believe that. I believe that.
Agree.
I completely believe that. Let's real quick. Jim Singleton. Talk way too much today. Jim Singleton. I think Nate Gary is going to be used like Buchanan from the Cardinals can play in the box and also be used in pass coverage. So. Agree with that. Anthony Vesper, Chris Long is a stud.
Chris Long is old.
Yeah, he is old. Vinny Massington, talking about the unwritten rules. We grew up with them in terms of baseball, and they always resonate even though the game is changing.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do, go ahead.
Real quick, this is just a funny one. J Lash. Ryan Matthews dodging that physical like a parolee dodges a drug test. Because he knows if he passes the physical, he's gone.
See, yeah. All right, so what we're going to do here is we're going to come on here and we're going to drop the YouTube link in here where you can come finish watching the show. And we're going to head out of Facebook for the rest of the night.
While you're doing that, real
Say
quick.
Say goodbye to the people.
3 bombs out of the Phillies tonight. Cameron Rupp with 2, Maikel Franco with 1.
The team
actually it might be 4 bombs. I think Tommy Joseph may have hit one as well. Phils win 9-0. And the Mighty drop another one, or how I want to say this. Nationals right-hander Steven Strasburg headed to the DL with an arm injury. Manager Dusty Baker says the hope is that he only misses 1 start. But now you have Kershaw and Strasburg both on the DL at the end of July. Not looking real good for the 2 best teams in the National League.
Hello, Sonny Gray and Verlander to the National League.
There you go.
Now, Kershaw's out 4 to 6, right?
Yeah.
Dude, killing me in fantasy, this jerk off. It's 2 years in a row. 2 years in a freaking row. Crump. All right, so we'll come back, talk Phils, talk some Sixers. We continue Eagles talk. Anybody want to chime in? We're heading over to the YouTube side of things. Facebook, Zuck, and all the boys out there. It's been real. All right, this segment was brought to you by Soap Stash LLC, the new soap standard. Find them on the web, soapstash.com, as well as our certified public accountant, Gibson Mayer LLC. Find them on the web, gibsonmayer.com. On the other side, Phil's talk, some Sixers, Eagles, whatever the hell else you want to talk about. We'll be right back.
We're here all night.
That's debatable.
You're listening to the worldwide leader of Real Talk, A2DRadio.com.
Fellas, you ever come in from that baseball or football game and your woman won't come near you because you stink beyond belief? Then you need Soap Stash. You should never settle for a generic hygiene product that only covers up the stench. Treat your skin with the best nutrients. Feel clean with the only soap you'll need. The highest grade carrier oils are ingrained in all of their products, which are 100% natural and terrific for your skin. No sulfates, parabens, or phthalates, and synthetic fragrance free. Contact Soap Stash for your sample package and give your woman what she deserves. You can contact Soap Stash at 844-890-3197 or visit them on the web at soapstash.com or Facebook at Soapstash LLC. Once again, their number is 844-890-3197. Soap Stash, the new soap standard.
Get your skills in shape, then contact the Scanzano Sports Center, located at 5 Carnegie Plaza in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. You can give them a call at 856-889-3434 or visit them on the web at www.scanzanosports.com. John Scanzano offers individual, semi-private, and team training lessons in hitting, pitching, catching, outfield, along with turf rentals. The Scanzano Sports Center is equipped with a 31,000 square foot indoor facility, 4 batting cages, and a 4,000 square foot strengthening and conditioning room. So what are you waiting for? Contact the Scanzano Sports Center today.
A2DRadio.com is sponsored by the Sports Outlet for all your sporting needs. Located 703 Black Horse Pike in Glendora, New Jersey. Give them a call at 856-939-2030 or email them at sportsoutletnj@comcast.net or visit them on the web at www.sportsoutletinc.com for all your sporting needs. The Sports Outlet.
Tom and Mike, AM in the PM, is brought to you by Gibson Mayer, LLC, Certified Public Accountants. Gibson Mayer, located in Yardley, PA, is a leading accounting and business consulting firm with a proven track record of handling critical issues with expertise across many different industries, including construction, distribution, hospitality, manufacturing, real estate, service trades, merchandising, professional services, and professional athletes. Give them a call at 215-369-3300. That's 215-369-3300. Your initial consultation is always free, and if you tell them that Mike from Tom and Mike AM in the PM sent you, you'll receive 15% off all income tax services completed by February 15th. That's Gibson Mayer, LLC, Certified Public Accountants, 215-369-3300, or visit them on the web at www.gibsonmayer.com. That's www.gibsonmayer.com.
Tom Arnone, Big Mikey Smalls, Tom, Mike, AM, in the PM, only on A2DRadio.com.
Fellas, you ever come in from that baseball or football game and your woman won't come near you because you stink beyond belief? Then you need Soap Stash. You should never settle for a generic hygiene product that only covers up the stench. Treat your skin with the best nutrients. Feel clean with the only soap you'll need. The highest grade carrier oils are ingrained in all of their products, which are 100% natural and terrific for your skin. No sulfates, parabens, or phthalates, and synthetic fragrance free. Contact Soap Stash for your sample package and give your woman what she deserves. You can contact Soap Stash at 844-890-3197 or visit them on the web at soapstash.com or Facebook at Soapstash LLC. Once again, their number is 844-890-3197. Soap Stash, the new soap standard.
Get your skills in shape, then contact the Scanzano Sports Center, located at 5 Carnegie Plaza in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. You can give them a call at 856-889-3434 or visit them on the web at www.scanzanosports.com. John Scanzano offers individual, semi-private, and team training lessons in hitting, pitching, catching, outfield, along with turf rentals. The Scanzano Sports Center is equipped with a 31,000 square foot indoor facility, 4 batting cages, and a 4,000 square foot strengthening and conditioning room. So what are you waiting for? Contact the Scanzano Sports Center today.
A2DRadio.com is sponsored by the Sports Outlet for all your sporting needs. Located at 703 Black Horse Pike in Glendora, New Jersey. Give them a call at 856-939-2030 or email them at sportsoutletnj@comcast.net or visit them on the web at www.sportsoutletinc.com for all your sporting needs. The Sports Outlet.
A2DRadio.com is proudly sponsored by Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants. Gibson Mayer, located in Yardley, PA, is a leading accounting and business consulting firm with a proven track record of handling critical issues with expertise across many different industries, including construction, distribution, hospitality, manufacturing, real estate, service trades, merchandising, professional services, and professional athletes. Give them a call at 215-369-3300. That's 215-369-3300. Your initial consultation is always free, and if you tell them that Tom and Mike from AM and the PM sent you, you'll receive 15% off all income tax services completed by February 15th. That's Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants, 215-369-3300, or visit them on the web at www.gibsonmayer.com. That's gibsonmayer.com.
You're listening to Tom and Mike, AM in the PM, on A2DRadio.com.
Fellas, you ever come in from that baseball or football game and your woman won't come near you because you stink beyond belief? Then you need Soap Stash. You should never settle for a generic hygiene product that only covers up the stench. Treat your skin with the best nutrients. Feel clean with the only soap you'll need. The highest grade carrier oils are ingrained in all of their products, which are 100% natural and terrific for your skin. No sulfates, parabens, or phthalates, and synthetic fragrance free. Contact Soap Stash for your sample package and give your woman what she deserves. You can contact Soap Stash at 844-890-3197 or visit them on the web at soapstash.com or Facebook at Soapstash LLC. Once again, their number is 844-890-3197. Soap Stash, the new soap standard.
your skills in shape, then contact the Scanzano Sports Center, located at 5 Carnegie Plaza in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. You can give them a call at 856-889-3434 or visit them on the web at www.scanzanosports.com. John Scanzano offers individual, semi-private, and team training lessons in hitting, pitching, catching, outfield, along with turf rentals. The Scanzano Sports Center is equipped with a 31,000 square foot indoor facility, 4 batting cages, and a 4,000 square foot strengthening and conditioning room. So what are you waiting for? Contact the Scanzano Sports Center today.
A2DRadio.com is sponsored by The Sports Outlet for all your sporting needs. Located 703 Black Horse Pike in Glendora, New Jersey. Give them a call at 856-939-2030 or email them at sportsoutletnj@comcast.net or visit them on the web at www.sportsoutletinc.com for all your sporting needs. The Sports Outlet.
Tom and Mike, AM in the PM, is brought to you by Gibson Mayer, LLC, Certified Public Accountants. Gibson Mayer, located in Yardley, PA, is a leading accounting and business consulting firm with a proven track record of handling critical issues with expertise across many different industries, including construction, distribution, hospitality, manufacturing, real estate, service trades, merchandising, professional services, and professional athletes. Give them a call at 215-369-3300. That's 215-369-3300. Your initial consultation is always free, and if you tell them that Mike from Tom and Mike AM in the PM sent you, you'll receive 15% off all income tax services completed by February 15th. That's Gibson Mayer, LLC, Certified Public Accountants, 215-369-3300, or visit them on the web at www.gibsonmayer.com. That's www.gibsonmayer.com.
You're listening to Tom and Mike, AM in the PM, here on A2DRadio.com.
Fellas, you ever come in from that baseball or football game and your woman won't come near you because you stink beyond belief? Then you need Soap Stash. You should never settle for a generic hygiene product that only covers up the stench. Treat your skin with the best nutrients. Feel clean with the only soap you'll need. The highest grade carrier oils are ingrained in all of their products, which are 100% natural and terrific for your skin. No sulfates, parabens, or phthalates, and synthetic fragrance free. Contact Soap Stash for your sample package and give your woman what she deserves. You can contact Soap Stash at 844-890-3197 or visit them on the web at soapstash.com or Facebook at Soapstash LLC. Once again, their number is 844-890-3197. Soap Stash, the new soap standard.
Get your skills in shape, then contact the Scanzano Sports Center, located at 5 Carnegie Plaza in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. You can give them a call at 856-889-3434 or visit them on the web at www.scanzanosports.com. John Scanzano offers individual, semi-private, and team training lessons in hitting, pitching, catching, outfield, along with turf rentals. The Scanzano Sports Center is equipped with a 31,000 square foot indoor facility, 4 batting cages, and a 4,000 square foot strengthening and conditioning room. So what are you waiting for? Contact the Scanzano Sports Center today.
A2DRadio.com is sponsored by the Sports Outlet for all your sporting needs. Located 703 Black Horse Pike in Glendora, New Jersey. Give them a call at 856-939-2030 or email them at sportsoutletnj@comcast.net or visit them on the web at www.sportsoutletinc.com for all your sporting needs. The Sports Outlet.
A2DRadio.com is proudly sponsored by Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants. Gibson Mayer, located in Yardley, PA, is a leading accounting and business consulting firm with a proven track record of handling critical issues with expertise across many different industries, including construction, distribution, hospitality, manufacturing, real estate, service trades, merchandising, professional services, and professional athletes. Give them a call at 215-369-3300. That's 215-369-3300. Your initial consultation is always free, and if you tell them that Tom and Mike from AM and the PM sent you, you'll receive 15% off all income tax services completed by February 15th. That's Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants, 215-369-3300, or visit them on the web at www.gibsonmayer.com. That's gibsonmayer.com.
Tom Arnone, Big Mikey Smalls, Tom, Mike, AM, in the PM, only on A2DRadio.com. Welcome back, Tom,
Mike,
AM,
in the PM,
A2DRadio.com, live from the BMW Atlantic City studios. BMW Atlantic City, right off exit 37 the Parkway. Find them online, BMWAtlanticCity.com. Brought to you by our certified public accountant. Make them yours, Gibson Mayer LLC. Find them on the web, GibsonMayer.com. Tom Arnone, Michael Mataraki, Greg Moakovic, Rob Povey on the ones and twos. Before we talk about what we've been talking about, Phil's trade Pat Neshek, so get into the details
Mr. Arnone,
of the deal.
Trade winds are blowing. The Phillies have traded right-hander Pat Neshek and cash to Colorado for shortstop Jose Gomez and right-handed pitchers Alejandro Requena and J.D. Hammer. And to give our audience a little bit of an idea of what goes on during the commercial breaks here, we collectively can tell you that Jose Gomez, Alejandro Requena, and J.D. Hammer can all play a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, when you talk about the shortstop who was
Jose Gomez. Single A, South Atlantic League.
Guy, 20 years old.
Asheville.
We're batting .324 right now. 18 stolen bases. A guy who can steal bags. That's great. I just like to look at it once when it comes to baseball. Yeah. It's funny. You know what I mean? But the speed guy, 4 homers, a couple doubles, and then Alejandro
Requena.
Another guy, 20 years old, starter. Looks like really good command. I think 97 strikeouts to 25 walks, and that was in 113 innings. So good ratio there for a young arm. I believe his earned run average. He was 8-3 with a
2.47 or something like that.
2.47, a whip right around 108, something like that. And then the other guy was a bullpen guy,
J.D. Hammer.
4-1,
7 saves, 1.25 ERA.
Some thick Ricky Vaughn's on too.
He did look like Ricky Vaughn.
Some thick Ricky.
But
Charlie's back.
But 3 20-year-olds.
And he was 22.
Or two
the last
two
guy,
20-year-olds and a 22-year-old.
The reliever was 22, and he was in A ball as well.
Well, and obviously we probably, other than just a quick Google, know nothing about these guys.
True story.
But that's what you throw the cash in there to make sure you try and get. If one of these guys hits in this trade, it's worth it.
Oh yeah, you win.
You know what I mean? So, and that's why you throw the cash to try and boost your chances of getting one guy out of this group.
Because, you got back more than you probably should for Pat Neshek at this point.
Yeah, most likely.
Good fit for Colorado, but a guy who doesn't want to pitch every day. Has made it clear here he doesn't want to go every day.
I wonder if he didn't want to go every day because he had to save his arm for whatever team he was getting traded to.
Because he's going to the playoffs.
That could be true too. and he did throw in the World Baseball Classic. But the guy who's not going to – my point here is not going to throw every day.
Yeah, and he throws 82 miles an hour.
Yeah,
What's that going to hurt your arm?
Yeah, so get back whatever the heck you can get back for him, and you call it a win.
Yeah.
You call it a win. So, that's a good deal out of Matt Klintak. And like you said, to throw the cash in there, smart just to sweeten the deal and try to get a little bit more back.
Sure.
And we could probably thank Mr. Neshek for making the All-Star team this year, too, because the combination of making the U.S. squad for the WBC as well as the National League All-Star team probably bumped up his value a little bit.
Yeah, definitely.
Makes teams think a little more.
And we gave Klintak a lot of crap about specifically the Saunders type of deal, but this is another one of those. Let's get somebody in on the cheap. That's down. That actually that panned out for us.
But when you talk about relievers, that's different.
You're absolutely right.
That's different than talking about a starting right fielder who's blocking the way of a Nick Williams.
I'm just saying that the deal was the same type.
No question.
It's just this one.
Question.
This one worked out.
Yeah, and this one's going to get you something back, which you're hoping Michael Saunders did when he signed him, and you're hoping Howie Kendrick can.
Yep.
And I think Daniel Knob is a guy who stays. But we can talk about all this in a few. But if you're just joining us, our poll question brought to you by Scanzano Sports. Find them on the web, scanzanosports.com. Which Eagles veteran is most likely not to make the 2017 roster? Kelsey, Selleck, Kendricks, Curry. Let us know. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. HUD Radio is where you can find us. I believe none of them would go. If I saw any of them, I thought maybe Selleck. And I know you guys talked about Kelsey going.
I went Kelsey.
You went Kelsey.
And I went Kendricks.
And you went Kendricks. So we'll see how it all shapes up. If you want to, chime in now, you're only on YouTube with us. So
classy tweet by the Phillies. Thank you at Pat Neshek. We wish you all the best. Yeah, thank you, Pat Neshek. You got us three good prospects. Did you just roll a hangover there?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the thank yous. You gotta love the thank yous.
Yeah.
The guy who's a rental.
Yeah.
And which makes baseball a disgrace because a rental guy represented you in the All-Star game.
Sure.
And when you go back and look at this team, when you go back, say 5 years from now, and say, who was the Phillies All-Star represented in 2017? We're all going to be like, man, who was that guy?
It was funny,
right? And then somebody will say the name, and you'll go, who?
Oh, wow.
Who?
It
was funny. Right around that time on Post Game Live, Marshall Harris and Ricky Bell were trying to figure out who the next Phillies All-Star guy was going to be. And there was a couple guys for Nola, a couple Twitter polls for Nola. And I don't even remember who Ricky Bo. I think Ricky Bo said he's not on the roster yet. Meaning it's either someone in the minors or another guy coming in from next year.
No, then Ricky Bo's misguided. Because you can say it's not on guys who play every day. You can say there's not one of them on the roster. But I think with a straight face, if you say Aaron Nola isn't a guy who could be,
his choice was someone not owner. He didn't balk at the Aaron Nola thing.
Okay, he just thought that it would be his choice would be somebody
maybe like a free agent coming in.
Yeah, but guess what? I want to get out of the days where I want one.
Well, sure,
right?
Sure, absolutely.
I think that's a in that one.
That's
a in that one.
Yeah,
you have no one, somebody else go next year. You're a better baseball team.
Yep.
You start getting two guys going, you're feeling a little bit better about yourself.
Yeah, and in other Phillies news, and unfortunately, this is a little on the sadder side.
So frustrating.
According to 6 ABC News, in response to many social media posts from former Phillies,
Neshek died on the way over,
and the organization Wednesday night provided an update on Darren Dalton's fight with cancer. And apparently Dutch has had a setback in his 4-year battle with brain cancer. The Phillies and Brett Dado, who is the president of the Darren Dalton Foundation, released a joint statement on Wednesday saying Darren is struggling right now in his 4-year battle with brain cancer, thus the reason many of his friends have posted messages on social media requesting prayers for Darren. Dalton was diagnosed with glioblastoma, a form of brain cancer, in 2013. In 2015, Dalton shared some good news when he was given a clean bill of health. However, it does appear that he has had a setback. So, prayers go out to Dutch. Dutch, we love you. Keep fighting, brother.
The aliens must be coming back in his head.
Yeah.
Doesn't chemo kill that shit?
Not aliens. Nothing kills aliens.
It's like a cockroach. They're like roaches. Withstand an atomic bomb.
Seriously. Aliens.
So we were going to come in as the MLB non-waiver trade deadline approaches. Which Phillies most likely to be traded? And I think we all would have sat here as a man and said Pat freaking Neshek.
Yeah.
And boom, how are you?
Pretty much.
And I think we said that last week, right? Yeah. Didn't we all say Neshek last week?
Because that was what he's here
Who
to
else?
do.
Yeah, like who
That's
else
what he was
was
here
here?
to do. He was the guaranteed gone.
Hellickson, who? I mean, he's a fifth starter on a really good baseball team.
And he's just
on a playoff team, he's a 4 or 5.
And he's a guy that I think can help some teams.
Yeah, Hellickson.
Yeah.
I could see him the next guy to
he
go.
can pitch. Whether he's good or not, he knows how to pitch.
He knows how to pitch, and with a lot of arms going down, he's a guy who could be, make you a little deeper, especially for some of these teams that have lost arms with Kershaw and who else went down the other day? Strasburg went down. I mean, it's just you could help these teams out. He's not either one of them guys, but he, like Greg said, he knows how to pitch.
He's an innings eater.
Yep,
too.
He knows how to pitch.
Now the other side of this too is I think we all thought that if Howie Kendrick came off the disabled list and could stay healthy, he's another guy. I mean, he's hitting 360.
Yeah.
But now 2 stints on the disabled list this year.
Hurts your value.
Got hit by a pitch tonight and left the game.
Well, back to the DL.
And was claiming to have a sore hand. So
one would assume.
And it was interesting because I actually thought when he got hit by the pitch and then came out of the game before his next at bat, I almost thought that I wonder if this was them saying, you know what, you got hit by a pitch once tonight and this guy fires us all over the place. Why don't you just go have a seat? We can't afford to have you get hurt again before the trade deadline. Then it was reported that he did leave the game with a hand injury, so we'll see where this goes. But, it's like the one guy that you really want to get rid of to kind of clear some playing time for other guys, and you just can't seem to get rid of him because he can't stay healthy.
Yeah, and I think that kind of goes the same way with Daniel Nava, not as big as Kendrick, because I think Kendrick has actually outperformed Nava.
Right.
But Nava now going on the DL, now it's only the 10-day, and it's retroactive about a week, or a couple days at least. But now Nava's on the DL, and it makes it tough to potentially move him, upcoming, unless he's able to come back and prove that he's healthy.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. But I thought Nava was a guy that they were actually probably considering to keep for the rest of the year. Just because, you hear about he's good for the kids and stuff like that, and that makes you, when you have other guys that you can let go and create room for guys to come up, he doesn't have to be that guy if you go with a Kendrick.
Right.
With how he goes.
Howie, you got to find a spot for him every day.
Yeah, how he goes, and, so, you can bring up some kids. That's how I look at that one. So we talk about Hellickson, Howie maybe, but then what do you do? I mean, the question comes down to if you don't get Hellickson, you maybe aren't as rushed the deal because who's knocking on the door? Is Thompson ready?
Well, didn't they just recall him?
They recalled him, but they recalled him to use him out of the bullpen again, which is freaking ridiculous.
I didn't see that they recalled him again. Unbelievable.
I mean, unless they think something is imminent with Hellickson,
no,
where they could plug him into that starter spot.
Yeah.
I mean, they sent Pinto down because he had thrown a shitload of innings over the last week, and he wasn't going to be available to them for a couple days. So they bring Thompson up, which I understand that Milner's already here, but again, we've talked about it ad nauseum. They have other relievers down there that you could bring up instead of having Thompson come up and relieve here when he's been a starter down there the whole time.
Yeah, but I think to your point, though, even though Thompson is up, I don't think there's a starter right now that's banging on the door to saying, let me back up.
No,
you know what I mean? To where, you're right, Hellickson may hang on. There's a big price tag. $17 million to Hellickson is tough. So you're gonna have to, you're gonna have to eat some of that or pay some of it, kind of like the cash that we threw to Neshek, especially if you're gonna try and get something in return.
Right, but I think a lot of that is perspective and what your expectations are, because if you look at Thompson's numbers over the course of the season, the numbers aren't good. But his last 4 or 5 starts, he's been real good. And it just goes to show that he was so bad early in the season that even after a stretch of 4 or 5 really good starts in a row, his ERA is still around 5. Now, Eflin has struggled since he's gone back down, but Lively went down, and he basically was Ben Lively again. It's the same Ben Lively that I've seen in AA and AAA for 2 years now, where he's going to give you 6 or 7. He's going to give up 2 or 3 runs. He's going to strike out a handful. He's not going to walk anybody. And next thing you know, he's leaving the game with a 2-run lead. And, to me, I understand that the guy doesn't strike guys out, but I don't think he pitched so badly when he was here that it warranted him being sent out.
Well, wasn't he just sent out right around the All-Star break where it was like to get work and then
he got and when Eichhoff was activated, then that was that.
And don't get me wrong, just because I don't perceive anybody knocking you on the door doesn't mean I would rather see any of those guys pitching instead of Hellickson. Yeah. I'm just saying there's not somebody knocking down the door to where Hellickson, you got to go.
That's all well and good, but the thing that we're not missing is you yo-yoed him. And so when you brought him up and used him as a reliever earlier on in the season and then sent him back down, of course there's going to be a struggle because now you got to stretch it out again and do all do all them things and now you're sent back down, which means in head wise mentally you didn't get it done right away, and then you regroup and you focus, and then you start having these good outings like Mike said over the last 4 or 5 starts, and then you get called up again to be a reliever again.
Yeah.
So what the hell are you doing? So if you're going to set him down and you're saying that he's not a starter when you bring him up, then he needs to go down and up and then be a reliever then. Consistency for a young kid. You need to keep it consistent. You can't yo-yo it.
Right.
So that's a joke, and I think that's the point that matters here more than if anybody's knocking on the door or if anybody deserves it. If you're saying you deserve to be called up, if you're saying that, then he deserves to be called up in the starter role. Then it doesn't make sense.
Right,
or just let him continue to pitch and be a starter in the minors and continue to work.
Right. Now, the one thing I will tell you that I am real encouraged by while we're on the subject is Kid Pivetta. If he can find a way to fight through that second or third time through the lineup, he's going to be something. Because this kid throws 97, 98. He can paint corners. He's a bulldog. He wants the ball. He's a fierce competitor out there. And you see the way he stalks the mound. The problem is he gets to the bottom part of the order second time through, top of the order third time through, and he can't get through that 6th inning. And especially against National League teams that have either seen him or have a book on him, through the minor leagues.
Sounds familiar, right?
He pitched real well against Boston, but Boston had never seen him before.
Yep.
Yeah.
National League teams, once this kid figures it out, and I promise you that I think a big chunk of this has to do with the fact that he's throwing to Cameron Rupp, because I just don't buy into him at all.
I was going to make sure that you brought that up, so good, continue. Yeah.
But I mean,
who catches Noah? Rupp, right?
Tonight was Rupp.
Rupp catches Nola.
Tonight was Rupp.
Typically, Rupp catches Nola, Eichhoff, and Hellickson, and then Knapp catches Pivetta and Velasquez. But they've been trying to work Knapp more into other guys because
that takes
he's
time
the one that was
too,
hitting the ball.
as a young catcher too.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an adjustment.
That's
a jump always for a catcher.
Yeah. With Thompson, this isn't the first time the Phillies have yo-yoed guys. I completely place all the blame on Don Brown on the Phillies. When they brought him up and then they yo-yoed him back and forth, and then in that all season they tried to change his swing. You took a guy who's you took a guy in the minors who was hitting 300, and then you changed his swing because he got to the bigs. Well, it's just like I was just watching that Pete Rose, Alex Rodriguez, Frank Thomas video again.
But you know what?
And it was just like he's like, don't change your swing.
Change where you move in the box.
Change your approach.
Right.
Yeah.
Change it because your swing got you there.
Pete said the best thing that Frank didn't even realize was say, hey, forget all the rest. Move around the box.
Yeah.
Change where you get in the box maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe it's an issue where you're standing. Like,
Yep.
and you talk about Hall of Famers were like,
Frank Thomas and Alex Rodriguez are like, are you kidding me?
kidding me? Yeah. It's hysterical.
See, the thing with Thompson is I don't have a problem with him coming up, down, up, down. There's a lot of organizations that have kids that they'll move up and down as they're needed, who then catch on the next year. The problem that I have with it is you're not a starter in the minors and a reliever in the majors. That's the part of it that I have an issue with. If they want to bring this kid up to start and they want to give him a spot start and send him back down and then do it again a couple weeks later, I'm perfectly fine I'm perfectly fine with the up down. But if he's coming up, he's got to come up to start.
Sure.
They can't expect to get anything out of him in relief when I think he's proven that he's not a relief pitcher.
Absolutely.
Dansby Swanson demoted.
I was just going to bring that up.
FYI, that's terrible out of the Braves. I know he struggled, but
and I was going to bring that up as
terrible,
as not necessarily a cautionary tale, but I know I brought it up on the show a couple weeks ago.
Right.
That Dansby Swanson is the future, and who's struggling, and it's just again, is J.P. Crawford better than Freddie Galvis? Yes, but there's your cautionary tale as to if a guy is brought up too soon.
I think J.P. Crawford the last 3 weeks has been hitting the ball like he wants a call-up.
And that's what you needed out of him.
Yeah.
To show that he was healthy.
Yeah, but I think it's poor out of the Braves to send them down.
It is. It absolutely is.
For what?
Why?
At this point of the
They're
year.
not making a playoff.
You're not making the playoffs.
So why? It makes no sense, and now you yo-yo. And now you start the yo-yo process, which completely screw a kid up more.
Right before we went on, I saw that tweet come through.
Mean, the Braves are morons to begin with because they go out and they trade for Matt Adams, and then Freddie Freeman comes back off the DL, and they move him to third base. Now, all the credit in the world to Freddie Freeman for having the versatility to do it, but I'm sorry. Matt Adams isn't better than Freddie Freeman. You got to figure that out.
Real quick.
Yeah, you're right, but I think for this year, he's playing a lot better than they probably expected. So for this year, it's just like, all right, we'll make this move for now because I didn't have anybody else there anyway.
True. But, yeah, you're taking a Gold Glove first baseman away.
Yeah.
It's tough to do.
That's people don't like to say, especially first basemen are athletic.
Well, hey,
that's a heck of a move right there.
That is.
Normally it's the other way around.
Yeah.
Normally it's third or first. Yeah. It's like Michael Franco. Let's get you over to first base as soon as possible.
Well,
that's the truth.
Go back in the day with the Phillies with Schmitty. He was third, first, back to third.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just don't see the other way.
You don't see it the other way.
That's unbelievable. It just shows you how good of a player he is.
Right.
On a shit team.
Yeah.
That's going to send down, obviously now going to, the guy they made a move for to go get. If you're going to bring him up, you leave him, especially when you're talking about he probably has, 350, 400 at-bats already in the season?
Probably at this point.
Right?
Why
send down now?
Why didn't you do it in April?
Right.
Let him work.
Or June.
The funny part about this whole piece of this is last weekend or the weekend before on MLB Network, I'm watching the Dynasty That Never Was about the Cleveland Indians. And he said, John Hart on there, and John Hart goes, Jim Thome was the worst third baseman I ever saw. But he could hit the ball 2 miles. So as soon as we got rid of Eddie Murray, we moved him over to first base. And I'm like, yep, it's Freddie Freeman. Got to get him back over to first base. All right, so I guess we know who's getting traded from the Phils. Do we move on to our
can we continue a little bit?
Yeah, go ahead.
Who's your one guy that's not a top guy that you think might be traded?
It's not a top guy.
Well, who's the one guy that's not been discussed, right? So, somebody obviously on the current roster, who's the one guy that isn't Kendrick, Hellickson?
I could see Naris getting moved, and maybe Rupp getting moved. Maybe. It's tough for a catcher to move them, and there would have to be an injury somewhere.
I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for this, but for me, it's Galvis.
Oh! I forgot all about him.
If you have,
all about him.
I was giving it to you both.
Yeah, you have a guy who can play, who's a Gold Glove-ish caliber shortstop, but who can also play second, third, and outfield in a pinch. Who's a switch hitter, who has improved the on-base percentage a little bit. I joked about this on the book the other night, but in all seriousness, maybe I wasn't joking. His value will never be higher than it is right now.
Never.
Yeah. No, I and that's kind of where I was letting you guys go to that. I like the Rupp. I just thought Rupp's chance to get traded was last year when his value was high.
Agreed.
No, me too, but don't make the same mistake with Freddie Galvis.
Yeah, true.
And that's what it comes down to. And the reason I forgot to even talk about him is because we were talking Crawford, earlier on, and I felt like he was already up.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a given how I felt about this situation.
Yeah.
As well.
Oh yeah.
And it's right now. There's no better time than right this second. You know, he's getting Heart and Hustle awards, and you know, his teammates like him, and he's a leader of a shit team, which is no such thing. And list goes on. And like Mike said, can play multiple positions for you for a team in a you know, trying to make the playoffs, looking for guys like that, and it allows you to make the room to bring up your top prospect, whatever some scouts decided on, him dropping out of the top 100, anything like that. It's time now to allow that room to happen, and there's no better time because next year, you know, what changes? You bringing him back?
Sure.
So why not just try to get something?
Yeah.
This came up on my show FDN the other day in regard to Freddie Galvis moving, in regard to Asdrubal Cabrera moving, who's another similar type player. It's a decent bat, can play multiple infield positions. Who's in the market for that right now? Well, one team we brought up was the Boston Red Sox, but they picked up their guy from the Giants in Eduardo Nunez. So I wanted to ask you, because after that, we were kind of stumped. Who do you think is a good suitor for Galvis?
It's an interesting question.
I would still say Houston.
Well, you look at the injuries that are racking
You know what I
up.
mean?
Yeah.
I would just say Houston, just off the top of my head, because
Correa's out. Now Bregman's out.
yeah.
You know, they had Marwin Gonzalez starting at shortstop tonight, who, now granted, Marwin Gonzalez is a very versatile player.
Yeah, it's tough, though.
But you're used to using him at third base, at first base, in the outfield. Marwin Gonzalez isn't an everyday shortstop. So I do feel like Houston's a landing spot. And Rob, honestly, until Boston went out and got Nunez last night, I actually thought that was the spot for Galvis. I also thought it could be a spot for Cabrera. To me,
Boston and Phillies never finalize deals anyway.
right?
So.
But to me, it's an interesting proposition because I don't know how much longer Jose Reyes is signed with the Mets. But for me, I could see them holding on to Cabrera until Reyes is gone, moving Cabrera back to shortstop, and then you got to backfill second base, whether that's Walker or they go out and they get a guy like a Cesar Hernandez or a Galvis or a Nunez or whoever.
Yeah, both Reyes and Cabrera, their deals end this year. But Reyes is far cheaper to re-sign. I think it's only $8 million to Cabrera's $20 million. That's why they're trying to move
the
Cabrera.
question. Yeah, the team options a lot friendlier there.
Freddie could be a good fit for New York though next year.
I mean, do you
But,
do
you
that?
know,
What about the Dodgers? You think the Dodgers could be in the market? You know, usually they've done a lot of deals with the Phils.
I just think Dodgers have a ton of infield depth already. I mean, they have Justin Turner and Logan Forsythe playing third. Seager is your everyday shortstop. They have Utley, Kike Hernandez, and Logan Forsythe playing second.
Yeah.
Utley and Bellinger at first, and that's still, they're still anticipating Adrian Gonzalez coming off the DL. I mean, does Adrian Gonzalez get Wally pipped by Cody Bellinger? I mean, is that it for Gonzalez now in Los Angeles? I mean, unless they want to run Bellinger back out to the outfield, and in which case, Puig has been hot. Peterson's been hot. I mean, who do you sit?
Yeah.
It's a tough call.
Yeah, no, it is, Robbie. I mean, it's a great point. Like, who is in the market for
It's Houston.
a
really.
versatile? You're right. It's Houston. And my guy.
You don't have to ask for it.
And
You
my
don't have to get a lot, right?
And my
I mean,
guy was Franco.
when we say value, right? When I say high value, when you're talking about allowing the kid to come up, I'm just talking about moving him and taking whatever you're willing to give me back for him.
I just thought
more
of
than
two
I am
teams.
trying to hold you over the coals with it.
Twins, Brewers. Because Villar's been a huge disappointment for the Brewers, so you get another guy in to kind of, relegate him to the bench. And the Twins are trying to make a move. They made some minor deals, strengthening, their bullpen a little bit, and they're in it. They're a game and a half behind the Indians.
In the back of my head, I had the Twins there. I just wasn't sure if they were going to almost kind of go in, or if they were just going to let it kind of fall to them, type of thing, where they're just, hey, let's just see what comes out of it, And then, but no, it's the Twins are in my mind as well. I mean, it's an interesting thought out there.
One sleeper for me could also be Tampa Bay. They're still in the thick of the AL East race, and they struggle for middle infield help. So,
Yeah, I mean, listen, if you don't move him, it tells you what the rest of baseball really
What they
thinks
think of him, yeah.
Especially if you're not trying to get a lot in return. And I think in this kind of deal, are you trying to get a lot in return?
Well, you have to get something.
No, but a lot? I mean, does it need to be special? Or does it need to be
no, because Freddie Galvis isn't going to get you special.
No, that's what I'm saying. But I think some people will think that he should get you more in return than he should.
Hold on. Can you repeat that for a second?
Freddie Galvis doesn't get you special.
Exactly. Freddie Galvis does not get you special. For all these people that are just overvaluing him, we do this all the time in this city, is that we have these guys that are our favorites for whatever reason. Now, Freddie Galvis is the heart and hustle guy, or he spoke up in a meeting, or whatever. He's so overvalued, and you're spot on. He's not going to get you anything special in return. If I get the same return for Galvis that they just got for Neshek, I'm a happy camper.
Yeah, you give me one less too. I'm a happy camper too.
I mean, if I'm thinking, if I get someone from in someone's system, our top prize is anywhere from someone's 15 on, like 15 to 25. That would mean to me that would be value in terms of getting something in return. You get someone's back end half of their farm system, which then coming to ours isn't obviously going to be in our top. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then that's the prize of the deal. And then obviously you backfill whatever else happens from there.
And
a couple of those young kids.
What does it say? Will he ever get you a lot of value is the question, and the answer is no.
No.
So that's the only thing. His deal's up after this year, right?
No, next year.
Next year, he just come. See, that's where it's dicey. It's dicey because you still have Hernandez under contract, right?
Next year, also, I believe.
Yeah,
but
do you even consider packaging?
But you can't.
Do you even consider trying to package?
You can't let Crawford and Kingery sit for a whole nother season down there.
Because I don't consider packaging them because I don't let Hernandez go, and I know he's not playing second base, but I don't let Hernandez go. I think this team recently has become a little bit more watchable once Hernandez came back to the team.
It's a fair point.
And yes, Odubel has been better hitting wise. But this team became, and I think I even mentioned something to you, is they're now watchable again because they have a legitimate leadoff hitter at the top of the lineup, and you don't have a black hole at second base. And a little bit I was watching of the Phillies game today, and they had the McLaren, the bullpen coach, on with the boneheads out in right field. McLaren was like comparing the Phillies to the Astros, and some beat writer said that we're not that close. Was it Brookover? I don't know if it was Brookover again. Mm-hmm. But some beat writer recently wrote that the Phillies are not that close. They will not be as quickly as the Astros have become what they are. And McLaren kind of contradicted that. And it wasn't that the talent right now is what it is, because we know what it is. It's not. But he was going more or less on the work ethic of the guys that are here, the guys that he knows that he saw in spring training. The work ethic from the organization on down is the work ethic, and the guys that are here currently are putting it in. So he's banking on, yes, some moves are coming in, yes, some pups are coming up, but the work ethic is translating from top to bottom that this organization will be back quicker than most people think.
Well, listen, it's tough to be. Listen, I mean, people can say it, but Kingery's got to do a lot to beat out Hernandez. I mean, you talk about Galvis, that's easy. That's not even a question. When you talk about Hernandez, that's a really good second baseman, and he does everything. And it's not just, to me, it's not that simple.
No,
it's not like I'm going to get rid of Hernandez and bring up Kingery. He can. I understand like right away, but I'm not in a rush to trade a real young second baseman who's figured it out. For Kingery right this second.
Unless you get the return for Hernandez that you're looking for.
Sure. Yep.
You want to set a top five prospect?
Like you said, is Freddie Galvis going to get anything special? No. Could Cesar Hernandez? Yes, absolutely.
Yep. And that's where, no problem.
Yep.
No issues now.
But that way.
Yeah, but I think you can. With Kingery have him play in AAA next year over Hernandez. You can get away with that one.
Rob.
Right? I mean, can we agree on that?
Yeah. Rob, write it down, 11/26 on July 26th. He is okay with Kingery starting next year at AAA.
For Hernandez, yes.
Yeah.
I don't think that's it. I don't think I'm being outlandish at all.
No, you're not being outlandish, but you're normally like, bring up the pop. There's no reason to start him in the minors.
But this is a guy blocking him is a young second baseman.
Is legitimate.
And there ain't the holes that Galvis has with Cesar Hernandez.
And this
the
is
holes
where,
aren't there.
And this is where I think the Phillies
Why
dropped
not Pickett? Why not Pickett? He's a damn good leadoff guy.
Yeah.
He works counts well. He hits for average. He's got speed. He's got a little pop. He can hit doubles. He can get triples. He can steal some bags. I mean, so it's not a guy blocking him that has a hole.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Right, but I can tell you what this is going to come down to. Because
the guy blocking Crawford, there's holes.
I would say over the course of the next calendar year. Because I don't disagree with you. I'd be fine with Kingery starting next year in AAA as well. But I think as you start to hit the All-Star break into late July of next year, the one thing that Kingery brought this year that nobody expected was the power. And he's actually maintained it at AAA. Not as high of a pace, but he's still got that pop. Now, all things being equal, if they can both pick it and they both have speed, and Kingery probably has a little better arm, Cesar probably has a little better range, but the stolen bases are there for both of them. What it's going to come down to is, can that pop that Kingery is starting to develop offset the fact that Cesar is a switch hitter and an established leadoff man? And if that pop is there and he continues to hit for, a little bit of power, if he can put up, 18 to 22 homers at the major league level, or they project that, then I think that's where you say, thanks, Cesar, but we're going to see what we can get for you. If that pop doesn't translate next year, then, yeah, you're not in any hurry.
Well, I mean, I don't think there's anybody on this team, in this organization, with the exception of, maybe Sixto, that doesn't have a price tag on him. Now, currently with Cesar, I need a top 10, maybe top 5 prospect back, because that's how much I value that guy.
Right.
But I think there's a way they can both play, and that's move Cesar to third. You get rid of Franco, and that was my guy. Going back to that question, was I want to see Franco gone. Ricky Bo brought up a great, and I keep bringing him up, but I love when him and Marshall Harris or whoever they go back and forth at each other, just ripping the Phillies, in a non-condescending way.
That's great, Greg, because now everybody just turned us off to turn on post-game live.
No, they're listening to us.
Jabroni. No, go ahead.
But he was talking about Franco and how he doesn't think Franco's actually gotten any hits this year. The hits have found him. The ball has found his bat plane as opposed to him actually swinging the bat and getting hits. And when you think about it, he's always flailing. He's always pulling out. That's my guy to move. Or if you move Joseph, you move him to first base. Or you're not doing that because you're bringing Cousins up. Or Hoskins.
Right.
Hoskins. So my guy was Franco because I think Cesar can move over to third. You can both play. But that's where with Cesar hurt, that's where the Phillies kind of dropped a little bit of the ball.
Oh, yeah.
Where you could have brought up Kingery for 15, 20 days. I understand all the 40 man. I get all that, but, we could have seen what it would have done for a short period of time, knowing, as you said, you have a bona fide guy there. And that's his job when he comes back, regardless of how good he does.
Yeah.
No, that's fair.
All right. I'm good with that.
Yeah. All right, what else we got?
Sixers?
We want to get into the LeBron thing?
We can.
I mean, we're on 2 hours now, so you make the call on how much longer you want to go.
Well, I mean, do you believe in the stuff that what's his face with Stephen A. Smith was saying? Do you believe that LeBron said that about Kyrie and about him maybe LeBron wanting out of Cleveland soon? I mean, how much do you believe in any of it? How much do you believe that LeBron would do it again to Cleveland? So, I mean, where do you guys stand on the whole situation?
Do I believe that LeBron would do it again? Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Do I also believe that Kyrie wants out? Absolutely. Do I believe it's because of LeBron? Maybe, maybe not. I actually think that Kyrie knows that LeBron is going to go, and he wants to get out first.
Sure.
He doesn't want to be there when the ship starts to sink. He wants to get out ahead of time. Now, for me, when all the trade talk about Kyrie started, and it was, he doesn't want to play with LeBron anymore, I said, you know what? Keep Kyrie. I'll make a trade offer for LeBron. He's going to opt out after this year anyway. And the Sixers are probably as close to a perfect destination for him as there could be. So I'm perfectly fine with packaging Ja and Furkan and a couple of first-round draft picks and whatever else they want outside of the obvious.
Yeah.
And I'll go get LeBron.
Well, what's your obvious?
The four.
The Feds. The Fed, to me, the
But
Fed.
what if it takes Sarge?
I'd consider it.
Yeah. I mean, it's got to be
I don't.
considered, but then you're losing some picks.
I don't want to, but I consider
But then
it.
you're losing some picks.
Yeah.
I'd rather give you a lot more picks. I'll load you up. What you want? We'll back the pick truck up.
But
And then you want how many?
For all these people though that say that
4 first-rounders.
I do it.
4 first-rounders and Furkan and Ja, just to give you NBA players.
And
Both younger.
but here's the thing: knowing that he's opting out next year, it may not even take that.
Well,
much.
that's the thing.
No, I'm just saying all things equal.
Yeah.
All things being equal, that's how much I would give you. Now, with the opt-out thing, I'll give you 2. 2. I'll give you.
And let's be real.
But if you go that route, you could say, here's the thing: if you could do a sign and trade where we can get him an extension now, we'll give you more in the trade. If we can't extend him now, then this is how it's going to shake out.
And it's the NBA, it's Cleveland. We know even if there's protection on those picks, they become number 1 overalls.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but you know what you do? They don't get the picks until they fall in the top 10.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
So
Even
that's
though
how it's protected for them.
even
in terms
though
of,
they're
like,
protected, they still
if it falls
become
out of
number
top
1.
10, they get to save it for the next year.
Yeah.
And you can say that they get to do it twice with both picks.
But
Real
here-
simple. So it will work out over a 4-year stretch where it'll be 2 picks that could go 4 years long.
Right.
So
but-
it works out for them.
The thing that just annoys the shit out of me, though, is you get these people that are like, no, we don't want LeBron. That's not what the process was all about. No, that is 100%
That's exactly
wrong.
what it was.
That's exactly what the process
exactly.
was. The process was to get good enough with homegrown talent
The
that the
land.
big-name free agents
To get the great
now
one.
want to come and play with these kids.
Yep.
And it doesn't get any bigger than LeBron.
Yeah, now
This is what the process was.
exactly. Did anyone ever think that it was LeBron? No. Was there always that? I mean, go back 3 years ago. We were pandering for LeBron.
I said it.
We were pandering for him. I'm not a LeBron fan, but I'll take him.
Yep.
Because he's the best in the game right now.
Yeah.
You know, the easier names to swallow or to envision was a Durant, was a Westbrook. You
Paul
know,
George,
the Paul
yeah,
George.
right.
Those guys were easier because you never thought
They
the
weren't the
Sixers
face of the
had a
league.
chance to get LeBron.
Yeah, to be the face of the league.
But Mike, you're exactly right. That is
That's the
what
whole
Hinkie
reason.
died for.
Yep.
Hinkie died to set us up for this. Right here.
For an opportunity.
for a chance.
For an opportunity.
For a chance.
We
You
have an
have
opportunity
the
here,
pups,
guys.
you have the cap space, you have the picks. This is what Hinkie died for.
Listen, I'll dump that goddamn water out. One for a fallen brother.
You know, would be the happiest
but-
man in Cleveland? Kyrie Irving.
But that was Rob. That was precisely my point. If Kyrie doesn't want to play with LeBron, fine. We'll take LeBron off your hands, and Kyrie can now be the man in Cleveland and prove how much he wants to be there. Because I think that whole thing is horseshit. He just wants out of Cleveland, and he wants to jump before LeBron jumps so that he gets off the sinking ship.
Yeah.
Kyrie ain't fooling me, Duke education or not.
I mean, I take Kyrie too. Let's be real. I take Kyrie. Add him to this team.
Would you?
Yeah, but then
Would you put Fultz in that deal then?
yeah, you're going to have to give up Fultz or Simmons to get him.
I'm asking you.
For Kyrie, I might. Because
He's 25. I mean, it's not like you're.
he's young and you know what he got.
Right, but he wants to be the focal point of an offense. If he comes to Philly and he's playing positionless basketball with Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid, Saric, Rashawn Holmes, Ja, whoever, J.J. Redick, he's not going to be the focal point of the offense. And I don't know that he accepts that. Like, his big beef, supposedly, with LeBron is, even though LeBron is the initiator and the distributor, he's still the focal point of the offense. Well, you know what, Kyrie? LeBron ain't winning those championships in Cleveland, or that championship in Cleveland, without you.
Yeah.
So why do you not consider yourself the focal point?
For sure.
I mean, to me, it's a perception problem. Or maybe Kyrie got his feelings hurt. Who knows?
Maybe.
It could be. Could be a feelings hurt thing. And, if what Stephen A. said about LeBron, being upset and, knock him out if he ran into him right now type deal. And then LeBron coming out and, refuting that statement like he would do.
Yeah.
Right. Of course I didn't say it. It's false. But I believe in when Stephen A. says, we talk about a guy who's been around the NBA for like 30 stinking years. Usually their sources are usually right.
Pretty legit.
Okay, and in a situation like this, it makes a lot of sense for that source to be right. It makes a lot of sense for LeBron to try to put the fire out like he's doing in case Kyrie stays, where it's not coming in, where, disgruntled.
Yeah.
Off Jump Street.
And don't you feel a teensy bit bad for Kyrie because he wants to be that centerpiece, that focal point? He signs a 5-year extension, and 11 days later, LeBron comes home. It's like, fuck.
You know what,
but it's the only thing that was going to get LeBron to come home.
I was going to say, though, I have to assume
They
he
needed
knew
that commitment.
He knew LeBron was coming back before he signed
Yeah.
that deal.
Yeah, he had to.
And let's be real. You got ring.
Yeah.
You got a ring, so
You did everything you needed to
He
do
got a
for
ring and he
Cleveland.
got paid.
yeah. The two things, it's what you work for. You work for that contract that sets you up, and then after that, you just get that ring.
No, Kyrie's a guy, I would take in a heartbeat on my basketball team. Anywhere he goes, that team jumps. There was talks about New York. I think that'd be a perfect landing spot for him.
I just don't get that from a basketball standpoint, why you would go to that sinking ship. I guess with Phil gone, it's not as bad, but,
I figure he play
but
with-
you are the face then.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Face-wise.
yeah, you
Face-wise,
are the face.
in the biggest city.
In the biggest city
Yep.
in the league.
But interestingly, if that deal works out that was proposed, and it turns out that you now have a 3 in New York of Kyrie, Porzingis, and Tyson Chandler, maybe that ship isn't sinking quite as fast. I don't hate any of those 3.
No. And again, with Phil gone, it's probably
And you put
a
Melo
less
in it.
toxic.
Yeah, and Melo's in the deal. Melo goes to Cleveland.
Yeah, Kevin Love goes to Phoenix, and everybody winds up happy at some point.
And Cleveland would get back Bledsoe and Melo?
Bledsoe, Melo, and Frank Ntilikina.
Ah. If I'm Cleveland, I do that deal in a second.
Oh, sure.
If Kyrie wants out so bad, okay.
Yeah.
See ya. Simple enough. Yeah, let's end it right now.
All right.
Good. Hey, thanks for listening. Tom,
Mike,
AM,
in the PM.
ATDRadio.com. Thank you, Gibson Mayer, LLC, our certified public account. Make them yours. GibsonMayer.com. Soap-Stash LLC. Soap-Stash.com. Scanzano Sports. ScanzanoSports.com. SportsOutletInc.com. Tom Renault, Michael Maddox, Greg Mokovic, Rob Povey on the 1s and 2s. Thank you all for listening. See you next Wednesday. We out.
Peace.